start with the movie?
We are live. Let's start with the movie. Absolutely.
All right. Let's
what is going on, guys?
Get everybody in this room. 26, Tony.
26
we started at 26.
Already?
Yes.
Happy Monday.
Everybody, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Good evening. I'm looking for chat to come in. There we go. GAG33 in. First chat at 21:59. We were 59 seconds late. Hammer, good evening. Hammer saying what's up to me and T. We got 29 people in right now. Derek, good evening. Derek's coming over from Tony's channel. In the purple. Oh,
is that how you can tell?
I think so. I think so, because if it's on my side, it's just a beige blue gray that we have normally.
Oh, do you see the word? Do you see the word paired? I think that means it's coming from my channel.
Yes.
And
yes.
Off to the side.
Yes. Yes. Okay. That means it's coming from you.
Yeah.
Got it. Medford in the house. Steven Sanchez. Good evening. What's going on, Medford?
Can we get a round of applause for everybody on a live stream on a Monday night? A round of applause. This is how they do it in Texas, in Austin, and in Seattle, according to what I heard.
Oh, yeah. If you easily get triggered by noise, it's this. Yes. Yeah. Chad Clifford. Good evening, Chad. Did you watch the documentary? The Vineyards, good evening. Country Pride, good evening. Let's see. Let's get some Tony's people here. Eric Roper, good evening. POTUS, good evening. Sergeant Beef. Marissa, good evening. Doc Zeno, hey. Johnny T. Andrew, Ivan, Edward, good evening. Everyone coming from Tony's channel. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Rico, Jody. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We're going to talk about this movie a little bit.
Someone asked, are we watching the documentary? I don't think our plan is to watch the documentary, right? I mean, it's like 90.
No. Yeah, it's
but
long.
We both watched it, and hopefully you guys did. I don't know if you have any clips teed up or if we're just going to talk about our general thoughts, and I want to hear your guys' general thoughts too.
Yeah, we want to know what you guys think. We're going to do you want me to play the trailer real quick, just in case someone doesn't know what it is?
I don't know. I don't know about
if I got
demonetization.
I mean, does it really matter? Keisha, good evening. How are you tonight? Electric Boogie, MD, Mike, good evening. We got a lot of people in the chat now. Yeah, we're up to almost 150. Okay. Sounds like I'm in a good mood tonight. I don't know. Some of the things that happened today sounds pretty good. Some of the things that happened today, just watching Tony's video earlier, some of the digging I just did behind MSNBC, some of the things I was reading about the ownership of Comcast and what possibly MSNBC could want with putting out a video like this on a Sunday night in the middle of May. And we're going to talk about our theories on that and our takes on it. So I guess let's try to stay away from doing the trailer in case, not that it really matters about getting demonetized, but I see Statia's in the chat. Stacia, good evening. I see Future Whales, KL, Lupe, good evening. Annie, Liquid Swords, River Diver 666, Frankie Muhammad. What's going on, buddy?
Frankie.
Good evening, Frankie. How are you, my friend? Is everything good with Frankie and everything that was going on with that? He's doing better, right? I think everything got made up with that.
With Frankie?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I was laughing at Doc Zeno saying how cool it would be if Tony and Massalorian both flung a toothpick at the camera at the same time.
Do you have any? I got some. Susan Harbor bought these. Yeah. I'll hand you one. Here you go. Just reach over.
You got to. There you go.
There you go. This way.
We should have set that up. Next time
we should have set that up earlier. Just gone right to you. That would have been great. Lupe, good evening. Frankie, Kim, good evening. I saw Keisha. S. Jackson, good evening. Hollywood, Vineyards, JG833, Long on AMC. What's up, fam? Raid tonight. Hanzo, how you doing tonight, girl? Trying to get everybody in here. Grandpa Barney, don't forget Grandpa. Grandpa Barney is just sent you a super chat, Tony.
All right, Floyd, Grandpa Barney, what is up, my friend? Pass me that toothpick, buddy.
Sure, no problem. Gotcha. Hold on one
second. Line up your hand. Line up your hand.
Right there.
All right.
There it is.
Thank you.
You
Got it. Got it. Everything's bigger in Texas.
What is that? Chopstick?
It's a toothpick.
Oh, skewer stick.
We don't fuck around in Texas.
I'm gonna fill this with skewer sticks next week. Put some shish kebab on there. Let's see. King of the North, good evening. I saw Annie, the new guy. Thank you for everyone who's pairing up from Tony's channel. Boston Strong, good evening. Hey T, I think there's a little bit of feedback on your side from your speakers.
All right, I'll turn it down a little bit.
I'm just hearing a little bit of an echo. Okay, that sounds much better. Let's see. Someone said hilarious, Tony. Yeah, we should have planned that up. We're busy during the day doing actual work, guys. So we don't have time to tee up toothpick transfers.
I spent most of my day working on 2 videos. I was in the Discord as I could be when I wasn't filming, editing, or publishing. I made a few trades today. I bought some more SoFi at $7. I think I was going to buy some Sundial pre-earnings. They had earnings today, by the way.
Yeah,
but I decided to wait one more earnings cycle, and I'm kind of glad I did. And what else did I buy today? I bought some AMC calls, $15 strike price, and maybe one other trade. I don't remember. Did not buy any AMC shares today because the price was not meaningfully different from where it was Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. I got to catch up. I didn't get to watch both videos, but right before we came on, I got to watch the one about your short position video. And someone was saying, I sound happy tonight. Watching that and then the MSNBC thing. And in the chat, guys, if you've seen the documentary or parts of it or pieces of it or got an overview, can you just put a 1 in the chat? I'm just curious how many people have actually seen the documentary. Just throw a 1 up in the chat if you guys have seen it. Someone's asking, Massalorian, I'm going to subscribe. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Hollywood. Appreciate you. JG says, what's the latest positive news on AMC? All right, so Tony, do you want to, real quick, before we talk, while I'm waiting for the chat for the ones to come up, do you want to just give a brief synopsis of your video from earlier? Why
yes.
I enjoyed it?
Why did I make that video? Why am I excited about the short interest? Let me put it up on the screen too while we're talking about it. Hang on one second. AMC. So I watched a video over the weekend, and I'm sure he's probably watching right now. One of the AMC bear / hater channels, and he was really upset at all the AMC YouTubers, not singling anyone out in specifically, but really upset that we continue to all use the phrase on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, have the shorts covered. What are we talking about? And let's see, screen share. Here we go. Put that up on the screen if you can.
Did the shorts cover? No? Then what are we talking about?
Current short interest on AMC is 21.6%. Cost to borrow, the highest I've seen it in recent memory, 3% on average. 4.3% max, utilization 100%. Shares on loan, also some of the highest in recent memory for me, almost 154 million shares on loan. And when I looked, I'm gonna get into what he talked about, but basically he got us all up in his feelings because we say the shorts haven't covered. Look, pretty much anybody that I know of that talks about Ortex goes over shares returned and shares borrowed. Every day, somebody's returning shares, right? That's a fact. So when we are talking about the shorts have not covered, we're not talking about these 1 or 2 million that they return every day and then reborrow. What we're talking about is this big orange line moving from the bottom left to the upper right on a continual move up. And the overall short interest has never really been drastically reduced other than what is that? In July, it took a little dip. And that's only what Ortex reports. I'm not even going to go into any unreported shares or synthetics. These are the numbers reported by the lenders of the shares, not the hedge funds. That's also an important distinction. These are what we know of from the lenders that report to Ortex, but the number is going up.
Yep.
And I'm just excited that they're increasing the shorts as the price gets lower. If you watched my video, you already know why. But if you didn't watch my video, it's because when a catalyst happens, they have just tightened the trap up around themselves unknowingly, or maybe just arrogantly, to where now we need a lower price movement up to get them in trouble. I was not really happy late last year knowing that all those shorts were established at $40, $50, $60, $70. But I think it's safe to assume many of them have converted that trade into cash, probably because they need the cash now with the whole market cratering. And then they reestablish these shorts, and they do that every day. But now, if we assume that the average, I looked at the shares on loan, the average share on loan is about 86 days. So if we bump back to mid-February and look at the last 90 days, what does that look like the average price is for AMC? I just eyeballed it and said about $16 average over the last 90 days. I think it's safe to assume that the average share position for shorts in the last 90 days is around $16. Are we still live? Massalorian, you still here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if we get a catalyst or any sort of money moving back into the market, well, then we only need to go up $4 or $5 to get these new shorts underwater. That's what I'm excited about. It's a lot easier to get them in trouble when they're shorting under $20 than knowing they're comfortably perching at $40, $50, $60 and they just laugh when it runs up to 30. So I'm glad he did the video. I'm glad the hater did the video and made me go in and look at this data one more time and was able to provide that information for you guys, because this is factual information with my bullish spin on it. He wants to put his bearish spin on it and say shorts cover every day. Well, duh. We've known about that. We talk about it. I cover both numbers every single day. Shorts returned, shorts borrowed. And I don't think anyone here is silly enough to think that no short has ever been covered. It's just a phrase. It's just a phrase. Every team's got to have its slogan. And
when has anyone ever even mentioned that or brought up the notion of that shorts aren't covering on a constant basis? They haven't been for the last.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're the clickbaitiest of clickbaiters, maybe someone out there in the ether is doing it, but not any of us that cover it with any fact-based or intelligent-based viewpoint on the thing, on the play.
Agreed. Guys, we are talking about the Legend of Wall Street Bets, called Diamond Hands is the name of the video. It was on MSNBC last night, I believe at 9 Eastern. Right now, you can watch it on YouTube for free. It's about an hour and 26 minutes long. All the commercials have been cut out of it. So it's on YouTube right now. You can go watch it and then come back and watch the live stream after if you want, or go watch it and come back. We'll probably still be on talking about it. We'll have to be on for an hour and 23 minutes. So if you want to go watch it and come back, feel free. But it's on MSNBC. But right now it's on YouTube. It got uploaded about 6 hours ago. And I don't know how many views it has right now. Let me check.
Someone asked, has anyone talked about Citadel going long on AMC? I'm pulling up the Fintel SEC filings, the 13F, which was filed on 5/16, and that covers the quarter that ended in March. So January, February, March. What I'm seeing, and you can put the screen share back up, Massalorian, and we can look at it. Let me get it on the right screen here. And zoom in. For those sitting in the back, what I'm seeing is that here's puts for Citadel. This first line, the middle line is their long position. and the bottom line is their call. What I'm seeing here, guys, just looking at the facts, is that Citadel reduced their position on AMC by 45% in Q1. Okay. On long shares, they reduced their shares 45%. They did increase their call position 41%. Now, the clickbait channels will only tell you what they want you to see and spin it in a way that gets them the most clicks. Yes, it is a fact. Citadel increased their calls 41%, but they also reduced their long position of shares owned by 45%. So, and they increased their puts by 31%. Hard for me to say, you can take the screen share off. Hard for me to say exactly if that's a bullish or a neutral move.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can't, I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. It is tough to pick out.
And I would urge you guys, when you're watching these channels and they only give you one bit of the info, look, all of the info is always available to all of us. Call them out on it. Or
go pull it up yourself.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's inexcusable for these guys to clickbait you and only show you part of the info. Your fucking money is on the line here. You need the full information, and anyone that's looking up the calls can go ahead and spend the extra 2 seconds to tell you the rest of the info.
Right.
If they're not, then you know they're only making the video for one thing, and that is to put money in their pockets. And they're not worried about your pockets.
Right.
You need the full information.
Yep. Agreed, T. Seaport checking in. Wicked, Nope says. Seaport checking in. Man, I have some good memories at the Seaport. Really good memories. Let's see. So, Tony, the Seaport is a district in downtown Boston that's like a bunch of restaurants and clubs. It's kind of like, well, I don't know about Austin, what to compare it to, but it's like, I would say it's close to like, what's the street in Memphis? Beale Street?
I've been there. I had some clam chowder.
Oh, okay. So you know. Okay.
Yeah, we did a whole Northeast tour one summer. We went to Philadelphia, Boston, DC on July 4th. Watched the fireworks over the harbor. It was a hell of a trip.
I've done that trip. I've done that East Coast trip from Virginia back up to Boston with my friend from Canada. Yeah. That's a fun trip.
And
a fun trip.
I think there might have been some Confederate War reenactment along the way.
Oh, yeah. I told you one time I got dumped for that. Did I tell you that? Yeah. Justice for all. All right, let's say hey to some people in the chat. I saw Diaz is here. Coiled again is here. Good evening. Good evening. Diaz, I saw in the chat. I saw Javi was here. Floyd, Rico. I think I said Chad already. And Pam is here. Let's see. All right, now I'm going back to catch up on the chat for a second. All right, so we got to. I put the word up for you guys on what the name of the video is if you want to go watch it. What I say is let's do your take first, Tony. What was your take on the video?
Well, I'm just going to disclose that Massalorian and I talked about the video for 1 minute, so I kind of know what he's going to say, but I'm going to tell you what my initial thought was, which was my first comment to him, but I might be changing my viewpoint depending on how this whole conversation goes with Massalorian and with you guys. But and maybe some of you guys felt this, and maybe this is what they wanted us to feel. But I kind of felt like I watched a bunch of bag holders that didn't sell at the right time, and it gave me this ominous feeling like I need to make sure that I either sell at a reasonable price or that I have appropriate brackets set up and not some $1 million price target told to me by a guy on YouTube in DC. But share with us, Massalorian, your follow-up comment to me on that, because now you really got me thinking that maybe I was being too naive.
Okay, well, you have to think at this in the Massalorian terms. I'm looking at this from the media perspective, the money and the drive behind the video. Why put the video out right now in the middle of May? The market is in a deep spiral right now downwards. Why would you decide to make this documentary and release it right now? What it seemed very strange to me. Just popped up out of nowhere. We've already had documentaries on this. It's been covered multiple times by almost every channel out there. So why MSNBC? It's not even technically a financial channel. Well, go and look up the ownership of MSNBC. So MSNBC is owned by Comcast. And just so you know, the top institutional owners of Comcast are Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Mass Financial, and Dodge and Cox. They own almost $40 billion worth. So after looking at that, I just thought to myself, it just seemed too out of the blue for it just to pop up right now. What I noticed was after the 45-minute mark, they started doing green and red days. So they were going from the January 25th up until a few days after the 1st of February. And every day they were showing the price fluctuations up and down. So they would show a red day, a green day, a red hour, a green hour. And in between, they were putting everyone's personal experiences and the roller coaster ride, the emotional journey they were on while they were trying to figure out when to sell, when to buy, what to do after they took away the buy button, all of that. And to me, that seemed like they were showing people panicking.
Did Massalorian freeze or did I drop off the stream? Who's getting shorted here? Tony Denaro or the Massalorian? He froze. Too much truth about to be dished out. Denial of service attack on the Massalorian. Quick. Implement Zulu procedure. Citadel shorting Massalorian because he's about to drop the bomb. Oh no, there he is. Woo! We thought Citadel and MSNBC were taking you out.
MSNBC just took us down. You know.
Too much truth.
They just kept my internet. Sorry guys, I don't know where I cut out. I was on a rage there. All right, I don't know how far I got.
You were saying they were showing the price going red and green and people on an emotional roller coaster, and then
they would insert everyone's what everyone was doing. You know, the guy saying to my wife, "We got to get out of here." And everyone's telling about how they lost money. They weren't in control. They weren't ready. They weren't prepared. And it seemed like it was causing a panic. And anyone who is in the position of those people, because they seem like inexperienced investors, they seem very green to me. Most of them, per se. I know some of them are influencers now, but most of them seem pretty green to me. And it seemed like a scare tactic to me. That seemed like something that wants to throw you off. I just don't see any other reason for them dropping it in the middle of May, in the middle of a almost recession. The timing makes no sense to me. There's been plenty of documentaries about this. I don't understand it, but I did know that from the 45-minute mark on till the end, I noticed that they took a completely different tune. They didn't mention AMC. They didn't talk about the MOAS after that. They didn't talk about anything. They talked about the emotional roller coaster ride that was those couple days. So, I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, basically what you're saying, if you said it, I'm just going to restate it. Were they trying to mentally screw with people's minds in anticipation of an upcoming short squeeze and make you second guess how long you're going to hold on to your play? That's what I heard you tell me this afternoon. And
yes,
that really got my head spinning. Like, yeah, why a year later are they showing this video? A year and 4 months, even if you go back to January 2021. What is up with the timing? Why was it so biased on how these people's emotions and letting them believe in a play got them screwed.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to, depending on what all the comments come in, and is Pantheon joining us tonight?
He hasn't answered me back yet. I'm still waiting to hear back. But look at Natsuka. He's saying this same thing what you're saying. It made me depressed, such BS FUD. Like, yeah, that's not going to get you up in the morning for the market, right? Watching that. It definitely, you could look at it as depressing. I was looking at it through a different lens, but yeah, I could see it be depressing. To me, it actually was uplifting because I'm looking at it through a different lens. So that was one of the reasons why I was so happy today. But go ahead, T. Sorry.
I was screaming at the TV last night. Scarlett and I were watching it. You know, she didn't really pay attention to the GME squeeze to the level that I was back in January 2021. And I had no position in it, but I was watching. I always watch short squeezes. And she got a really good education last night and asked a lot of great questions. But she observed me screaming at the TV, just freaking sell. What are you doing? You're $3 million and you're watching it bleed away. I mean, you bought into this thing at $6 and you're not selling at $4.80 because you want it to go to 500 or 1,000. Fucking sell some of it at least. So it kind of cemented in my mind, and I'm going to change my thoughts a little bit, but it did cement into my mind the importance of having some brackets, like a safety bracket where you at least get your money out, or as Scarlett said, your money plus some.
Yeah.
She's a poker player, and I wish I could get her on here to talk about her poker analogy, but she's like, it's almost like they're freaking bluffing you guys right now.
Yep. 100%.
But you still got to take care of yourself. So you don't want to ride 100% of your shares to the 100,000 price level. Take some and take care of yourself. And then if you want to let the rest of the pot ride, let it ride. And as a sensible trader, that's going to be my style also. I've always said that. Like I'm going to let some ride to whatever infinity price we get till I see it ultimately turn around, turn down. But I will be selling into the move up in small chunks.
For sure. Touche, my friend. Mark Brumfield says, can I ask, if this is psych warfare, why would you want all of us to watch? Mark, I think me and Tony are pretty comfortable that our subscribers we're bringing this to their attention because we feel like they can handle watching the movie and make up their own opinion, because maybe we're completely wrong about this. Maybe they find something that we don't detect and pick up on it, and it could be a big deal. So I want to get everyone out there as informed as possible, whether it's good news or bad news. Any news is better than no news. But yeah, Mark, I think that you guys can handle going to watch this video and understanding or looking at it through whatever lens you care to look at it through, and say, okay, this makes me feel this way. Well, here's what me and Tony think, and you make up your own opinion. So I just want to bring it to you guys' attention so you know where it is. I'm not going to sit there and speak for everyone on this channel. Tony, did you want to say something?
No, I just, I'm actually, why are we doing this? I'm actually happy that I talked to you earlier today when we were talking about doing this, because you gave me another perspective on it that I was failing to realize, because maybe like a lot of people that watch this or will watch it, you get a little bit brainwashed into thinking that all these people were stupid and held too long. Maybe they got screwed because the buy button was turned off, right? There's little doubt about that. But I think there could still be some learning into what I said earlier about having brackets and not listening to people that are giving you ridiculous price targets to diamond hand all of your shares to that price point. That was like, if I had to step back from my initial reaction to the moderated Massalorian common sense answer, if they're screwing with us, maybe they are really worried that it's going to go to some ridiculously high price. But I saw someone asking in the chat, are they going to take the buy button away again? I put 0 past these guys.
Yep.
I put nothing past them. So I'm going to take care of myself on the way up, but I also want to extract maximum total profit. I just can't, for my own sanity, let 100% ride to 100,000 or 1 million. I can't.
No, not after all this time. Someone asked, someone said, never know where it can go. Someone just put something up there I wanted to ask. Oh, about the buy button. Yeah. I think it did it not seem to you watching it that almost like they were saying that, look, they can get away with anything. Like they were showing that these guys got dragged in front of Congress and nothing happened. And they didn't even go into, they talked about Citadel and the Robinhood situation, but didn't go into any of the details about the conversations that were going on behind the scenes, the phone calls and emails that were going back and forth between the brokers and the hedge funds. They didn't talk about any of that. It was really, let's put these guys on an emotional roller coaster for an hour and 23 minutes, show them what the madness was for those 10 days, as we are possibly coming into this scenario that could pop up again in the next few weeks, and psych them out right now. And I just want you guys to be mentally prepared for that. That's all.
There's literally so many ways they can use the rules that are in place to screw retail, whether it's the DTCC sending a collateral request to a broker and effectively shutting them down if they're undercapitalized, like what happened to Robinhood, or even the exchange chairman saying, for the protection of the public, we're going to stop trading in this stock. He can do that at his own discretion.
At his discretion,
I mean,
yeah.
He who has the money makes the rules, guys. We do not make the rules. And I just want you to, after all this long wait, to get some profit out of this play. I'm not going to tell you a price. I know Massalorian doesn't talk prices either. And God willing, we all get a really high price, but let's be realistic too. You don't want to be sitting for another 2 years waiting for another squeeze because you were too greedy on this play. Always be taking profits.
Yes. Yep. Just Trey just said it the other day when a couple weeks ago when he was talking about the options, guys. Make sure you are taking those tendies. Don't let them dissipate on you. Let's see. Any thoughts about shares on loan now versus $70 run up last year? So Tony, you made an interesting point today in your video that I took away, because you were talking about them opening their short positions up back again and how you were more concerned back when it was at $60 and $50. And then what did you say that the shortest time on loan right now was 87 days?
The average time on loan is 87 days. The number of shares on loan is as high as I remember seeing it. Let me see if I can pull that up on this. The number of loans is the highest that it's ever been, 1,800 different loans. Short interest, Ortex estimated is it was 150. Yeah, I need to see shares on loan. On loan, here we go. Maybe this is the number. It is 153.9 million, and the only time that it was higher was back in June. Oh no, that's not even higher. June of 2021, it was 137 million. So we're at an all-time high on short interest, number of loans, and number of shares on loan. That to me is very bullish.
Absolutely.
It also says to me that the shorts are very convinced that they have a winning hand, but it also could be a psyop also, right? The more they short it into a bearish market, the more they scare you by driving the price down. And that is ultimately what they want, to drive it down as low as they can, even if it's temporary for a day or a few hours, to get out and lock in.
Just psych you out. Yep.
And then they can let it run up and cover.
Absolutely. So guys, I'm pinning the name of the documentary. It is Diamond Hands, The Legends of Wall Street Bets. It's on YouTube, and it was from Msnbc last night. JT Wisco, I thought about you earlier today. I was like, I wonder if JT is from Wisconsin. And I just saw that the final was 81 to 109. Damn, you guys got rocked. The C's took you guys down. So that's it. That's game 7. So we're going to the East Coast Finals. Nice. I'm sad because the Greek Freak is out, but that's all right. That's all right. I'd rather have my C's in. So let's see here. Who cares about the buy button? We've had it for 2 years. Just don't take away the sell button when it pops. Great point. Great point. That's the button I'm worried about.
I
Hey,
just want
Tony.
to know how many retail were really buying GameStop at $400 a share. I mean, when you have the
buying
chance
at
to buy it
200.
at 6 or 8 or 10, why would you wait till 400 to buy?
It's nuts. It's nuts.
If, and I know when this squeeze eventually happens on these stocks again, when it's sitting at $50, we're going to be getting people in the chat saying, "Is it too late to buy? It's $50. Right. Is it too late?" Well, it might not be too late, but you just 5x your risk because you could buy it right now for $11.80.
Yep.
Don't come to me in a month and ask me if it's okay to buy it at 50, because I'm not going to answer you, first of all, and I'm going to wonder why you didn't have conviction when it was going down. I get it. I get it. It's hard to have conviction in a bear market. I get it.
Lauren says, go Mab. Sorry.
You either believe in it or you don't, in the potential of this company to get profitable and for this stock to squeeze. I'm not asking you to believe or not believe. I'm just saying, if you're in this play, I'm assuming it's because you believe. So please don't wait till it's $50 to all of a sudden get some conviction for your next buy.
And here's the thing. You got to understand, me and Tony got our conviction last year in this. And I know some of you guys bought in after the $70 run up, but we've been in this since, the stock was down in single digits. So we've been in this territory before. We didn't have the huge, inflation of our accounts and then deflation in the last 6 months. We saw our accounts go up to tens of thousands and then back down again. So I know it's been tough on a lot of you guys. I know it has, and I know that it looks bad right now. But if the math is right and the numbers and the DD is correct, we are still on the right track. Nothing has changed except the fundamentals for AMC have gotten better since we first bought the stock.
Carrie says, buy at 11 or buy at $2. I don't know how low it's going to go. I did touch on that briefly in my first video today, my first video of 2. And I get asked that all the time. Do I think it's going to go below $10? Maybe it will. That's why I said I'm very judiciously buying the dips. You don't see me posting trades of 100 or 500 shares. I'm adding 10 every day or every other day because there's a very real risk of a market crash or correction much lower than where we're at right now. And I am not ignoring that. And you should not either. And if a market correction happens, every stock, including AMC and GameStop, is going down with it. Nothing we can do about that. So I'd love the opportunity to buy it cheaper when the whole market's selling off for no reason than institutions are freaking scared. That's the only reason.
Yep.
They're scared of holding and reporting 50% loss on their next quarterly letter out to the investors.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I Revolt says, hey, Tony, in your video earlier, you said if the market goes down, AMC GME will follow. But what if market goes down at a very fast rate and there is a liquidity crisis, then we'll over leverage. Liquidity crisis, then we'll over leverage stocks.
Yeah. I mean, if the people are right, like Boss Blunts that are predicting a run up after the market crashes because of a liquidity crisis, that could act 100% be a potential catalyst for this play moving up. I can't say with 100% certainty. So I don't talk about it a lot, but I do mention it as a potential catalyst. Absolutely. I'm not going to make videos saying that I'm certain that it's going to happen, but I definitely view it as one of many potential catalysts. Because they don't book that cash until they close. So if it runs down, they've got paper money, but if they need real cash, they're going to close, and that's going to drive buying pressure.
For sure. Angelina ATF says, I'm a pharmacist. Guys, that's a lie. She's actually an ATF agent, so don't let her trick you. Angelina. No, she's really a pharmacist. I'm kidding. Let's see there. Christian Princess, good evening. How you doing tonight? She says, great question. I'm assuming that was one you just answered, T, and great answer. I bought from 8 to 52, says Smith, and all the way down. Now I can't believe I bought such a high price. I mean, think about I think I've bought in every $10 span except 50, 60, and 70. That's the only time I didn't buy. I bought in the 40s, the 30s, the 20s, the 10s, and the single digits in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I've on my second video that I did today where I actually showed my AMC position, and I was looking back at all of my trades that I did in the 30s and 40s, buying 100 here, 100 there, 100 here, like it was just going out of style. I'm like, man, I could be buying 400 now with that same money at $11. But that's how convinced I was at that time that we were on a pivot point, and that conviction hasn't changed. I'm just being a little more cautious now, not because AMC is being driven down, but because the entire market is under pressure. We weren't in that position back in June, July, August when I was buying at those price levels. The market was still cranking along, so I felt pretty good about it. The only reason I'm down now is the freaking market got the bottom ripped out from under it.
Yeah. And like T said, if the market goes, GME and AMC are going with it. There's just no two ways around that. As much as we want to sit there and complain about FTDs and everything else, that's just the way the pendulum will swing if we go into a recession. The only thing we're going to hope for at that point is, I mean, something probably we're still hoping for either way is margin calls, but that would definitely amplify the situation, definitely speed it up. Natsuka says, Tony Mass, in my opinion, this is very bullish that they reduced their position. They have been holding this AMO to stifle runs. To me, they are running out of ammo. I've been waiting for this filing.
I think he's talking about the Fintel data that I was just showing that they reduced their position. The reason I don't focus on that too much is that's old data at this point. That was data from January to March. So while it is useful glimpse into what they were doing 2 months ago, it doesn't tell me what they're doing now. Maybe they're buying now that it's $11. I really don't know, and I won't know for 3 more months now. But it does give us an idea, and they obviously, I mean, they have $240 million worth of call options. Let me put that back up on the screen. Where did I put that? They went Leroy Jenkins on the call options. Shoot. Let me get at a full screen on Ortex, and then maybe I could see it. Intel, Citadel holds call options representing 9.9 million shares valued at $244 million. Yes. I mean, that's not a inconsequential amount of calls considering that those calls expire, right? The clock is ticking on those. We don't know what strike date or strike price, but that's a pretty bullish bet. $245 million. What do you think, Massalorian? Can't hear you.
Sorry. I got to keep. You got to turn off the. It's totally echoed.
80. Oh, yeah, that's my bad. I got to turn down the volume on. Maybe I can mute.
I can't have that. We can't have that on because it just echoes completely when I talk, or I can't talk. One of two.
Their share position, 88,000 shares times $10. That is only 880,000. But let's just call it $1 million. I mean, they've got 240x on call options as far as their monetary bet. That's pretty bullish.
Yeah, that's very bullish. Yeah.
So I think it's fine to look at this and feel kind of bullish on it. But just like me, I mean, the lower AMC gets, the more I'm considering buying call options. That's why I bought some when it went under 15, and I bought some more today when it was under 12. The lower it gets, the greater likelihood is that a big bounce up is coming.
Are those far out?
If you believe in a short squeeze or some eventual market correction or a catalyst.
Did you give yourself plenty of time on those?
July 15th or July 20th, whatever. I can't remember which one I bought, but it's mid to late July.
You might have those numbers by June.
I tried to give myself time past this potential catalyst in early June. And if nothing happens by, say, 10 days into June, well, I'm not running into complete erosion of the time value. You know, if your call options expire first week in June and you're not right on the timing, they're going to be worth zero immediately. And at least with the late July call options, I got a lot of time value left on them. And I might lose a little bit of money if nothing happens first week of June, but I can roll those out to August or September or whatever month I want and still maintain most of the time value.
MC Prosperity, good evening. KL, good evening. Daily Taylor, Hayden J, Jesus, Chris Montague, good evening. Tony, I got to find this Melvin question. I skipped off it by accident, but let me see if I can find it real quick. Somebody had a question about Melvin. Does Melvin have to clear their books, Tony, before they start their new fund? I think that's what it said.
I haven't looked into that since it was in the news a month ago or whenever, but what he said at that time, as I recall, was that he was going to, and again, I did mention at the time, I have no idea the number of tricks they have to put things on hold or have someone else hold them while they close out their books and then they give them back to them. Guys, I don't know. But theoretically, what he has to do is close out all those positions and then create the new fund and rebuy them. Could he have some trick up his sleeve where they don't close anything out? They just change the name, loan them to a bank temporarily, and then get them all back? I would not put anything past these guys and their ability to come up with creative solutions, but I just honestly don't know.
I know. I'm in the same boat as you, my friend. I'm in the same boat. MC Prosperity says, I wish I knew about this stream earlier. Didn't you get the notification? I put it up like 4 hours ago. I think I put up like 6 o'clock. I put up a thumbnail. These bastards never put it out. They just don't. Dino Mike says, Dino Mike, sub the has the boss says, thanks, buddy. I'll buy and hold. I know very well will shine. Just a matter of time. Absolutely. Let's see. I saw Dino was talking about the fourth turning and the market cycles, a circular market, and the Federal Reserve trying to interfere with something that normally is not interfered with by outside sources like the Fed. They're unnecessary entity right now. I feel like we don't even need them. But yeah, the fourth turning. So Wednesday will be the third part of the episode 3 will be Wednesday. Will be out. Let's see.
Someone is asking about crypto. I'm just going to say real quick. I did my very first TikTok today. I'm still seeing on people on Twitter saying buy Luna. You know, it could go to $1. Luna's coin supply has gone from 300 million to 6.5 trillion as they attempt to prop up UST, which is their algo-backed stablecoin. For Luna to go to $1 at this point with 6.5 trillion coins, it would be worth about 10x the market cap of Bitcoin. So you can just forget about Luna ever going to $1.
That's insane.
Yes. Forget it. All these people putting this shit on Twitter are trying to separate you from your money. And you need to pay attention to all the details and understand the same reason I don't like Shiba. There's too many fucking coins.
Yeah.
Now, as far as other cryptos, I am buying judiciously on the dips. There absolutely could be a major crypto crash, but I'm adding in a little bit every week. I was just looking at my purchases Wednesday of last week. I bought some Solana and I added some more Phantom. So everything is in my buy range right now. Everything.
No Cardano?
I have Cardano. I started adding back a couple months ago. It finally got down low enough that it made it too juicy for me to completely avoid it. I sold all my Cardano early 2021 and moved it to Solana, which was a great move at the time. But Cardano got so cheap, I went ahead and picked some more up. Bitcoin's at 29.9, Ethereum 2,000, Cardano 56 cents, Solana $54, Polkadot 1083. And what else do I got? My crypto buddy said look into Hex. I have not spent a lot of time looking at Hex. He's very bullish on Hex for upcoming things in the next year. He was the one that turned me on to Phantom. And Phantom is still depressed. What's it down to right now? FTM 34 cents. I mean, I was saying a few months ago, I was happy to buy Phantom at 125. So I am most definitely adding Phantom on these dips.
Yeah. I remember asking you, and you said 125 was the price I was looking at. And that was, I think, maybe late summer, Tony.
That's when Bitcoin was at 60,000. So yeah, I'm not 65. Worried about the price of any altcoin being low right now when Bitcoin's at 29,000. If you believe that Bitcoin is going to go back up, whether that's this year or 5 years from now, there's some deals to be had. Just don't think that you've magically called the bottom, because there could be more downside. So that's why I say I'm judiciously adding. I'm not blowing my whole paycheck buying Phantom. I'm saving dry powder for future red days.
People are asking about Crow and Hex. A couple other Jack Wolf asked about Hex, and Namac3 asked about Crow. Loop Ring. Any thoughts on any of those, T?
My crypto friend who, before the crash, before this recent downturn, he had over $1 million in crypto. I'm about 20% in crypto of my entire portfolio. He went in 2021 100% out of stocks and into crypto, and man, he was absolutely killing me in terms of returns as it ran up.
Yeah, we bet.
But he likes Hex. He just told me in the last week, whenever I called him Thursday or Wednesday of last week, and I have not really looked into it. So it's on my due diligence list, waiting for a day when I have time to spend a few hours. But when I do, you can rest assured that I'll make a video about it with my thoughts, good or bad.
True.
And I don't know. I haven't looked into Crow at all.
Okay. All right. D Helms 4382 says that documentary sucks. They're trying to send us a message. D Helms, that was my thought when we came on tonight. I think they're trying to set us up. Do any of you guys have any thoughts on Cashmatic or Polygon? I don't even know what Cashmatic is. I apologize. Polygon is that like Loop Ring? Polygon?
Polygon's the one that has all the commercials on Fox and CNBC. That lady and the robot, is the lady doing the
yes
the stop motion filming, or
Yep.
Boy, we sure are doing a lot of filming with polygons here. I have not really spent a lot of time. The bulk of my time is spent researching stocks. It's about 80-20, and so
John Woke sniping.
One day when I am done covering AMC, I'll have a lot more time to talk about crypto. I have a lot of money invested in it, but most of my time is sucked up covering AMC and keeping up to date what's going on and trying to fit in some other stocks for you guys from time to time. So yes, all of these are on my list, but I'm really in love with the ones that I have. So mostly since I've done the DD on those, I'm just adding to those.
So for me, guys, I have right now, the only things I own are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's about 20% of my portfolio. 20 to 25% of my portfolio is crypto right now. It's just those two. I think I have a little SHIB in a Coinbase account. And it's just the other two on BlockFi. That's it. And I just let it sit there, and I just take the interest and stick it back in.
Grandpa Barney said, my coworker made $1 million off of Hex. Who was hexed, Grandpa Barney? Ask your coworker if they can hex King Griffin.
Yeah, right. That's what we need. We need a hex on Ken Griffin. Let's see. Someone said part of me wanted to watch John Woke sniping just to see craziness, but you guys are my go-to. What's John doing? John doing a podcast tonight? AMC Airman says, "Uh-oh." AMC Airman, I know AMC Airman, I think, is sub to both me and T. I think so. And I know AMC Airman did the challenge because I edited his video a couple times for the Jon Stewart challenge. I did AMC Airman. I've seen a lot of people in comments the last couple of days that I know exactly what their face looks like because I've seen their videos so many times.
Is that video ever going to be released, or is it kind of shelved because of all the issues going on over there? Or do you not want to talk about it?
No, I'm okay with talking about it. I still have all the videos, and I was thinking of just sending an email back to the people who sent the videos and asking if I had permission to hold on to them. And maybe at some point down the road, me and John can figure it out if I would be able just to take them for myself, or if he wants to keep them. I'm sure he has a copy of them right now. I broke down film and sent it to him. B-roll to cut in between people's interviews and people's messages, and he has all that. So right now it's definitely on the shelf for sure.
Can I just ask you one simple question that I've never asked you before?
Sure.
Why doesn't he just edit it himself? How did you get the job of editing his documentary video? I mean, if it's his challenge, why don't you just pass it back to him and let him edit it and put it out? Because it's the John Wick sniping challenge. Why do you want to have your name around it, considering all the current controversy?
That's the thing. I think because I had the proper software, I think, to do it, and the camera. I had the equipment, right? So and I offered that. I can't sit here and say that, he put me in a corner. I said, let me help you out with it since I have the equipment and the programs and the software to be able to do it. And then, we parted ways along that road as we were going towards getting the video done. We weren't seeing eye to eye on AMC anymore. It's really that simple. I mean, and no hard feelings against John at all. It's just, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And I wish we could have gotten it out, and, maybe we can use that video in the future, but I have to check with everybody who actually made the video and make sure I have the permission. So that's going to come down the road, I guess.
Gotcha.
But that's the story with that. Let's see. Adrian says, Can is about, man, this thing is slow. Ken is about to have an Alaskan-sized gap after we mow ass. Oh boy, who's down? Let's see here. MC Prosperity says, "Good
Mexican silverback."
This one?
Yeah. Can you make a video on how to buy Hex? Why do they make it so difficult to buy some crypto? I always complain to my crypto buddy about that. He's like, "Hey, you need to check out such and such coin." I was like, "Where can you buy it?" He's like, "Well, it took me 4 hours to figure it out. And you can only buy it on this one exchange." And I'm like, "You do this all day and it took you 4 hours to figure it out?" Like, yeah, I agree. Silverback. If it's that difficult, it does make the ability to make money on these coins more challenging. But the way he phrases it is that difficulty results in your payoff when they finally do get enough exposure. If you pick the right one and you took the time to figure out how to buy it, you got in early enough. So I guess that's one way to look at it. But to be perfectly honest, almost everyone that he's told me that I couldn't go buy on one of the main exchanges easily, I just haven't done it. And some would call that laziness. I would beg to differ, and Scarlett would vehemently beg to differ that I'm just swamped with work and I don't have time to go chase that stuff down. I'm happy with 100% gains on the good coins when I get them.
True. I just want to say hey to some people who just jumped in the chat. Jamie Thomas, good evening. Big B, how you doing tonight? Carl J, Adrian, we saw Bonnie earlier. Happy Feet, good evening. Daipan, good evening. I saw Jamie Thomas. Susan Harbor's in the house. Good evening, Susan. How you doing tonight? I haven't heard from you in a while, Susan. I don't know where you've been, but you better get back in the comments, girl. Let's see. Natsuka has a comment. And Natsuka, thank you so much for keeping the lights on. Do you guys watch Macro After Dark? Great GME, guys. They did a BTC video tonight. Very interesting about Tether becoming untethered. I'd go watch. Thanks, Natsuka. No, I didn't. Macro After Dark. I think someone mentioned that before to us. And the problem is we always get off. We don't stay on these live streams till 3 a.m. And by the time we actually sign off, we're passed out. We're falling asleep at the table. So then it skips your mind. But thank you for reminding me, because I remember, I think Natsuka, you brought this up before, and I forgot to check these guys out. Tony, did you ever end up checking these guys out? Do you remember this conversation?
No,
Okay.
They're not on my watch list, not because I am avoiding them, just because I don't remember seeing that name before. But what's it called? Macro After Dark?
Macro. Yeah. Macro After Dark.
I'll put it on my iPad so it goes in my watch history. Someone said, Doc Zeno, moment of silence for Bigum's dog. I think we could have a couple moments of silence, not only for Bigum's dog, which, as a pet owner myself, I definitely can relate to that. I've lost a couple myself over the years, and our hearts go out to AMC Bigums in his moments of grief. He said he's going to need to take some time off from YouTube, and buddy, take all the time that you need. We'll still be here, and you got to be in the right frame of mind and take the time that you need to mourn your pet. They are like family members. But
I didn't know that.
Also, I think we would be remiss if we didn't take a moment of silence for all the shooting victims over the past couple days too. Jesus Christ! Right?
Perfect timing.
And I don't want to derail this into politics or separating people by class or race or gender or anything like that. Let's just focus on the fact that there were victims, and hopefully swift justice is brought to the perpetrators. And they still did not talk about the 40 killings in Chicago this weekend. All right, moving on.
I almost pulled that story this morning. There were 25 injured and 11 killed over the weekend. Not a peep about it on the media. Not a peep. Perfect timing. Thanks, moron, whoever you are, for speaking for the rest of the country. Asshole. Susan Harbor. Okay, I got Susan in there. That's right. Shit, this always happens. I always have a good point to make, and then I just totally forget what the hell it was. What were you just saying, T? Oh, about the shooting and the moment of silence. Yes, Bigums, I feel terrible about your dog, man. I'm so sorry. My prayers are with you, man. I know that's a tough thing to do. Lose a dog. I've lost dogs. It's not fun. So I feel for you, buddy. Sorry about that. And yeah, to all the people out there who lost a family member this weekend, or someone was injured because of some fucking asshole, that's dumber than two left shoes. Sorry. And yeah. Hope for Generation 57 says, do you think any other stable coins are going to come unraveled? Man, it's just how hard are they going to pull the first string? I think that's the one thing that I'm the most worried about, because it could cause some type of domino effect. So I think that all crypto, besides maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum, right, are in trouble. And just all the scams you see going on right now. I mean, literally every other day, CoffeeZilla is putting out some video about some $500 million scam on crypto, whether it's Luna or SafeMoon or you name it. It's just a very dangerous thing. It's if you don't know what you're doing, getting into coins like that and trying to ride ups and downs, especially on those shit coins.
There are experts that have been warning about the impending possible crash of Luna for over a year.
Yeah.
And I made a video back in April entitled "Are Stable Coins Stable?" And I specifically called out crypto's algo-backed stable coins and gave you a specific example of Iron and Tether and why you should avoid algo-backed stable coins and the coins that are paired with them. What happened to Luna and UST was the exact damn thing that happened to Iron and Tether. And these algo-backed coins are literally backed by nothing other than the printing of coins, printing of Luna in this case. And when crypto markets start going down, this was, in my opinion, almost inevitable. Theoretically, the other stable coins, the other major players like Tether and USDC are backed by real dollars. I don't trust Tether. I've been hearing too much shady information about it for too long. That would be earth-shattering to the crypto markets if Tether fails. But I would only buy, and I only buy if I'm buying stable coins, USDC. The chink in the armor for some of these is even USDC is what percentage of those coins are they lending out? They're backed by real dollars, but they also leverage those assets and lend them out. So everything is at risk at some level, guys. Be real when you're thinking about crypto. That's why I do not go 100% in crypto. Everything is at risk. Everything.
And I know I got a lot of shit the other night because I was talking about diversifying my portfolio. But guys, you know, you got to understand a lot of us have been in the market longer than just AMC and GME, right? We didn't just come along with AMC and GME. We had positions before AMC and GME popped at the end of last January. So at this point now, if I was, say, a new investor who just bought AMC for the first time last May, say like, you know, my cousin, then I might have a totally different take on it, right? And it's understandable. MC asks, money will be better spent when it's in the hands of retail because we help others. When it's 1%, they hoard it for themselves, MC. Yeah, I was talking to someone earlier about that today. One of the subscribers was saying the same thing. We were both saying the same thing. We're like, man, I just can't wait to have extra funds to be able to do other things with it. Let's see. Jack Wolf is asking if Tony's going to be on tomorrow for a live stream. Will you be on tomorrow, Tony, for live?
I hope so. I was sitting here working all day. It was really important for me to get those videos out, and not much was going on in the markets. And Scarlett was also off today, and I knew that I was not going to get 2 live streams and 2 videos in and make Scarlett happy. So I had to walk the tightrope today. And so I was on the Discord all day, chatting with folks on and off in between filming, editing, and publishing. Tomorrow, the rest of this week, she is working. So I anticipate that I will be on when the market opens and the market closes the rest of this week.
Awesome. Good. Lauren says, when I owned crypto, I couldn't sleep well at night. That's another thing that they were talking about in the MSNBC, the Diamond Hands video. They were talking about the people not being able to sleep at night because they were unsure of what they were going to do the next day, whether they were going to pull the trigger to sell. They couldn't, keep up. They couldn't keep up with before market, after market prices. They just made it seem like a living nightmare. That's what the last 45 minutes of the movie was. Pretty much.
Had you, Massalorian, had you or anyone in the audience, were you guys familiar with all of these people? I didn't recognize all of them, but I don't spend much time on Reddit.
No, that's another thing. There wasn't one person from YouTube in the video. You would think MSNBC would go out. They would try to locate some people who have a following, at least 5,000, 2,000, 1,000 subscribers, maybe. I don't know. Somebody who can pull in some numbers for you. Wouldn't you want to get people on who already have
Mr.
a following?
Gill on there.
Well, yeah, okay. That's one guy. I'm talking about right now. What happened with Keith was 18 months ago. We're talking about right now. You're putting the video out in May of 2022, not February 2021.
Yeah, there was zero talk about how many people still believe in the play too. Did you notice they just ended it like they took the buy button away, everyone lost their money, and that's it, game over?
And no one will no one wants to answer comments. We reached out to Melvin Citadel.
Yeah.
Didn't mention AMC. Didn't mention AMC at all. Did not mention AMC in the last 45 minutes. The
Horrible
words
reporting.
AMC were not brought up.
Horrible reporting. Horrible.
Yeah. Just go look at who owns Comcast. Look at who has the biggest positions in AMC, institutional buyers, and look who has the largest positions in Comcast. Take a wild guess at who's number 1 and 2.
Smith
Thomas
says,
B, good everyone.
Smith says, does it take a long time to make a video? I wish Super Steven was in the chat. He's one of the members on my channel and also in the Discord. And go check out Super Steven's channel. Shout out to Super Steven with 2 N's on the end. He's a up and coming YouTuber, and he's providing some good information to you guys, especially to newer traders. But I know he's commented several times, wow, Tony, I never realized how long it takes to make a freaking video. Yes, if you're doing real due diligence and attempting to provide screenshots and links and articles and stuff like that, a 5-minute video, I could easily put a total of 4, sometimes 6, 8 hours into one 5 to 6 minute video. That's from doing all the research, getting all the tabs set up of things that I want to show, getting the graphics ready, filming, editing all the parts where I'm pausing or blinking too much or saying, getting the editing just right, adding in the sound, adding in the graphics, and then waiting 45 to 50 minutes to upload it to YouTube. Yes, it takes a long time. What's not difficult? Just making shit up, going out on the street corner and turning your phone on.
That's easy.
Sometimes I wonder, what the hell am I doing? Why don't I just make shit up and go stand out under the light post right outside my house? I could crank out 10, 20 videos a day.
Seriously.
But yes, if you're going to do it right, you know which channels are doing it right by who is not pumping out 10 videos a day. There's a reason. It's not because we're not working 10 hours a day.
Right.
Because we're trying to provide you something we've actually looked into and make sure we're getting you the real information.
Yep. We're not going to just jump on and start talking mumbo jumbo because we feel like it. Because it's 1 o'clock and I ain't got shit to do right now. Let me go walk down the park and take a video. And I'll talk about, how I'm feeling right now, about the stock. Real quick before I forget, there's a couple things I got to say before I forget because I'm forgetful. Coiled Up, thank you so much for keeping the lights on. Appreciate you. Someone asked if they saw a super chat from Hollywood. I'm looking for it now, my friend. I don't see it anywhere. I don't put up the super chats just so people don't feel obligated to do them, but I will read them. I do read them all. Let me see. Oh, I found it. Here it is. Sorry. So Hollywood 2322 says, sorry, I missed it, bud. So what's stopping them from kicking this can down the road until the end of time? There are people whose money they're holding. They can't hold the money forever. They're supposed to be using that money to profit. So if they're constantly losing, I don't know how long. I mean, at what point would you start pulling your money out of these hedge funds, Tony?
At what point would I start pulling money out if I was a hedge fund?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if the market goes down, like we've said many times, they've got to report back to their investors how they did for the quarter, right?
That's what I mean. They can't continue to kick this. I mean, they have people to answer to. We don't. So, I mean, that's the advantage that we have over the hedge funds is we have no one to answer to. This is all our money, right? This is risk we're taking, and it is risky, but we are taking the risk with potential huge upside as opposed to a little bit of downside, at least in my opinion.
Looking at the latest 13F for Citadel, just as an example, owning about $1 million worth of AMC and 240 million in calls. I mean, if you look at their overall portfolio, that is not even half of 1% of what they're invested in. So I think they can coast for a long time and not worry about taking money out of AMC. But what will get their attention, what will wake them up, is if they start getting 300% in the red in a short squeeze, right?
Yes.
Or 1,000% in the red.
Short 300 would do it, I think. And I meant, when do you think investors will start pulling their money out? Like, do you think investors are going to start looking for an actual recession? Like our GDP is going to be down 2 quarters in a row. Like, do you think people are starting to get worried about that long term?
You mean hedge fund investors or retail investors?
Hedge funds.
Well, most of the hedge funds these days, I know this made the news about a month or two ago about lockup periods. Most hedge funds have lockup periods.
Yep.
And when you sign up and put your money in it, you already know that going into it, that your money's locked up. You cannot get it out. And that they do that for a few reasons, so that they can keep the lights on and pay their staff, even in a declining market. They don't want people draining money out. And it also adds an air of exclusivity to it. It's not uncommon. It's mostly common that all of them have lockups. And even the new funds that are being created sell out in the same day that they're created, even with lockups. And Citadel, for example, during the 2020 virus of unknown origins crisis, offered an out to people that were really hurting and gave them a special one-time exception to take some money out. So they can do that at any time that they want. But for the most part, investors' money is locked up, so they can't take it out.
And how long is that typically, those periods? What are we talking
I don't
about?
remember. You could Google it. It's probably
Okay.
like five years or something. I just don't remember.
Okay. So what was the other things I wanted to mention? I said I got to make sure I do these, because if not, I'm going to forget. No, Susan said she was talking about buying Palantir on the dip. And I was going to mention that, Susan, I'm working on a Palantir video, kind of in between everything else. I have like a thumbnail up for it and a couple of video clips. I'm working on it. Someone asked where Liz Clayman's whistle is. I have no idea. I'm pretty pissed that she's not here, but yeah, I don't know where she is, guys. I'm actually looking for her myself. Coiled again. Is Coiled again? Stacia, did you change your avatar, dear? Do you know who Coiled again is?
I do not.
Yeah, me neither. Pam says she's only here because she was bored. She said she was so bored that she decided to come on here live with Mass and Tony. Jeez.
Pam, I want to know if I got all of the favorite things that you like from your photo. Did I get them all, or did you answer that tweet? Did anyone get all of them right? Pam put a quiz on her tweet the other day.
Oh, did she? I didn't see that.
Name the 7 things I like. Name the 7 things I like by looking at this photo.
Yeah, I'm like, it is Stacia. Okay. Stacia, thank you, darling. Someone asked, where's Brenda, Queen of Swords? I have not seen her in a while. I know she was on CSI's channel for a while. She was doing DD with CSI. I saw her in a couple of videos with him, like they were in the same building together, like same house. I don't know what's going on now.
Natsuka says, has anyone ever seen this Scarlett? Scarlett's been on camera. If you could search back through my thumbnail, she's been on at least 2 videos. She came on most recently on my birthday, March 28th. And the ones that she's in the thumbnail. Also, if you're on my if you're on my community tab on YouTube, there are some alleged photos of Scarlett.
And I just want to say, Jeremy, thank you, my friend, for keeping the lights on. Otherwise known as Walter. Queen of Swords was in the hospital. Okay, we don't know where Liz Clayman is. Also, has anyone talked to Natalie? It's been like a couple.
Yeah, I haven't seen Natalie for a while.
I haven't seen Natalie in a while.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Has anyone talked to her? I'm just concerned. Just because I haven't seen anything from the girl at all. Someone says, hey, Mash, she was sick and was in the hospital. Oh, no, she was? Shit, I didn't know that. Oof. She was sick in the hospital. Okay. Well, does anybody know where?
Mexican Silverback says she has pneumonia and was hospitalized per CSI. Well,
oof.
Best thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery.
Recovery to Natalie. Yeah, for sure. Oh, we talking about Natalie or Brenda?
Brenda.
Brenda was sick. Yeah, best regards for Brenda. Hope she's okay. She had pneumonia, huh? Okay.
I'm laughing at Arthur. Arthur, I know you're joking, but not everybody does.
What? No, is he joking?
He said Tony's daughter, Scarlett, seems like a beautiful person.
And Jeremy, just so you know, Oh, Walter, you know that I don't read the chats, man, but I appreciate you keeping the lights on and keeping the software updated and the whole nine, my friend. Let's see. Oh, here it is now. Not Money Advice says, and Annie T says, Scarlett is a beautiful lady. Definitely not an imaginary. All right. Not Money Advice says, Twitter shadow banned my DD on Palantir. Actually, it was AI's DD. Are you sure about that? DD's evidence from Palantir website on a YouTuber training Palantir employees in 2012 programming, aka AI with art, aka memes, by the way. So Not Money Advice. I was telling the story last week about someone I know that works for Boeing and has had rave reviews about Palantir software just being like the shit as far as keeping up with maintenance and supply orders and problems with mechanical problems and anticipating things going wrong and things need to be replaced on their airplanes. Just everything has been raved about as far as the software goes. So at these prices right now, I mean, I'm in at like $20 a share. So Susan's buying now. She's picking up the shares at $9 a piece. It's probably a $50 stock. I think it's high in the 52 was $48 or something like that.
I wish you'd hurry up and get that Palantir video done because I've been trying to do one too and haven't even started. So you're leagues ahead of me.
It's like you don't know where to turn, right? It's like I got people out looking to send me pictures of baby formula shelves, and I'm all over the place. I got so far. I have like 4 states. I didn't even ask you, Tony. I didn't even try and commandeer you for some pictures. I've reached out to a few people, just asked them to send me pictures of the aisles at the grocery store for formula.
By the way, speaking of baby formula, I posted a recipe that I actually got from someone else on Twitter about how to make your own baby formula. And I Googled it and it came up as a similar recipe they used 1930 through the 1960s in the US using evaporated milk. And at one point, 50% of infants in the US were raised on this homemade formula. So if you know anyone who is under duress due to lack of baby formula, go find my Twitter and look that formula up. And it could be a viable, something to get you through. This is not some nonsense. You can go do the due diligence on it yourself on Google.
So Super Steven says, I seriously don't understand Palantir. I've given up like 4 times already. Like Buffett says, don't buy things you don't understand. So that's what I was working on, Super Steven. I was working on a video and I was going to use an example of some of the big time African/Chinese ivory trade, black market ivory trade that Palantir used to take down this black market trade of ivory, and how they use the software between all these different countries. And here's my biggest thing with Palantir. If the country is going to continue to go in the direction it's going right now with the Department of Disinformation and the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA and the NSA and the DOD, they need software to do all these things that they are talking about doing. And they have all their government contracts, or a lot of them right now, with Palantir for their software. They're continually adding contracts. If we are heading towards this great reset and this new world order thing, you better believe they're going to be using software like that, because how else are they going to keep track of everybody? So if we're heading in that direction, keep it in the back of your mind. They're going to need the software to implement their rules. And if that's truly where we're going, Palantir is going to be a player. And hopefully I'll have that video about soon, but it's literally like trying to pick what to talk about on certain days sometimes can get very overwhelming.
Someone said in the chat, Palantir has been a company for 19 years and never made a profit.
Never made a profit. Never made a profit. That's correct. Correct.
Well, yes. That's a little scary.
It is very scary. And Carp says, if you're looking for short-term play right now, don't buy Palantir stock. We are not a company that's going to be volatile and making you money here and there. He said it many times. He scared a lot of people, I think, out of it by saying we are a long-term play. Don't bother buying us for 2021 or 2022. And that's how I've always looked at it. I've known Palantir about a long time. I didn't buy it till last year because I finally saw them signing some big contracts. And when they made the announcement about switching over to the commercial space, that's huge, because that's opening up many doors with recurring income coming in perpetuity, as long as these companies have the software. So
Well, I guess when you do your video or when I do mine, one good thing to cover would be, and I guess I probably know the answer, but where the hell are they getting their money to survive 19 years?
take a
losing
wild
money?
guess.
I think I know the answer.
Yes, you do, my friend. Yes, you do.
Loans, bonds, and dilution.
Just a little bit. Susan says, though, no debt, though. And Tom Nash did a good job. And Tom does a good job explaining Palantir. As far as their sales and marketing, not actually what the software does, but Tom does a good job talking about the other two aspects of it. Susan, absolutely 100% no debt. Yes. Let's see. When baby formula. See where we've gotten, Tony? We went from when Lambo to when baby formula. Terrible. Chica Luna says, if we MOAS, Pam will get lots of business. Yes, I would assume Pam will be running around like a maniac when we MOAS after. We're going to be relaxing.
I want to buy that. I want to buy that house that just went up to auction, and the winning bid came in under the what's the minimum bid price? They only got bid of like $44 million, and I think the minimum he was accepting was $50 million. That pad looks like a great place to have the 8-party post MOAS. Just saying.
Oh my God. I saw, I watched a video. Did I tell you that my power went out Sunday night? We got hit by electricity. Lightning. Yeah. The power went out. Not even kidding, Tony. The weirdest thing. So I'm sitting watching TV, and that was the night we were planning on possibly going live, right? That was Sunday night. That was last night, right? Yeah.
We were talking about live streaming the documentary. Yeah.
All right. So I'm sitting there, and I'm flipping through something. All of a sudden, the whole outside lights up. So it's 8 o'clock. The whole sky lights up. It looked like the sun just came out. And next thing I know, crack, and my whole building shook. This is a 150-year-old building made out of bricks, horsehair plaster, and like full tree trunk logs, I think, is what the frame is made out of. And the house literally shook. And I said to myself, damn, imagine if we lost power. Sure enough, 2 seconds later, another blast, power out, AC out, everything shut off. TV down, computer down, you name it. What are you trying to coax Scarlett into the picture?
I was trying to coax Scarlett, and she said, just a timer alert. You've been on live stream for 90 minutes.
Oh, timer alerts. You're getting timer alerts now. Interesting.
She's getting mighty. She's becoming a clock watcher on her days off.
What time is it? Have we really been on it? Yeah, for an hour and a half. Yeah, I guess so. Yes, we have. We heard. Let's see. Harry Parrott, I saw is in here. Good evening, Harry Parrott. How you doing tonight?
What about horse and hair plaster?
What did I say about it?
Yeah,
I said my building is made out of horsehair plaster and tree trunks. I think for the that's what the framing is made out of, because this home's so old. It's horsehair plaster. I mean, like, my place is very old. If I look up at my ceiling right now, it's probably 8 feet over my head, and my hot water pipe is coming right through my bedroom. Totally exposed. I'll have to sometime when I can afford to get a second camera, I'm definitely going to have a view from behind, like we've talked about before, so people can see what I'm doing at the computer and like where I'm at, just to help situate.
Horsehair plaster reminds me of a episode we just watched on Jack Reacher, which we just watched all of them, the one on Amazon Prime or wherever it's at.
How is it?
And it was excellent.
I've heard.
But in one scene, he asked, "What are the walls made of?" And he's like, "It looks like old construction." Da da da. He's like, "That's thin plaster. Just punch your way through it. Think of the Kool-Aid guy." But,
going to the wall.
The funny thing about Jack Reacher, he's a very no nonsense, non-emotional. Like someone said, "Oh, you know, is my husband dead?" And he said, "Yes, he is." Yeah, he just like no emotions, no thoughts about other people's feelings. I said, "Damn, that guy acts just like I do." And Scarlett was saying, "I was just thinking that he's just like you."
Really?
Cold-blooded son of a bitch.
I haven't seen it. Who's the main actor in that? Jack Reacher.
I don't remember his name, but he looks like a freaking tank. Obviously, I don't have his build, but
okay.
But his cold, emotionless approach to life and situations, I could relate to a lot. I love the character.
Harry Parrott says, Master, your house must have been on this old house. Actually, Harry Parrott, the house I grew up in used to have a servant stairway that we used that me and my sister used growing up. There used to be a back stairway that went to the second floor. I grew up in an old Victorian, probably turn of the century. So we're talking 18th, turn of the 18th century. So I think, yeah, it was right around the very beginning of the 1800s. The house is almost 200 years old, the one I grew up in. And yeah, had a back stairway that were servant stairs. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I used to watch this old house back in the old days when Bob Vila was on there before Norm became the main host. And I guess most of the houses were up in your area, Massalorian,
Yeah,
right?
all
Back
of
then,
them.
I was like, damn, every house up there is falling apart. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you build houses in the 1700s and try and live in them in the 1980s.
I remember we put an addition on. I was probably 12 or 13, and we didn't have a family room per se, right? It's old Victorian house, but it wasn't designed around. You know, okay, you kind of want to go around a family room if you're in a newer house now. That's kind of when everyone gathers. It didn't have that, right? So it was kind of cold. It didn't feel very warm. Like you walked in, there was like a piano. It just felt very cold. So they put an addition on the back that had a family room that was, you know, a more inviting space with like a fireplace and beams. And I remember when they were tearing down the back porch, man, we were pulling out nails, like handcrafted nails that were like literally, I'm not kidding, that were, you could pull them out and they were handmade nails. Maybe they weren't handmade, but they were old as hell. They were at least 200 years old. I couldn't believe it. And I was a young kid back then, so I didn't know. One of the guys on the construction site at the addition picked it up and was like, you know how old this nail is? And that was when I first learned about all that kind of stuff.
I was telling the story here in Austin when I was looking. This was about, I don't know, 15 years ago, before the big run up in real estate prices. I was looking at buying an entire block of houses. They were all small, probably under 1,500 square foot. They had been built 80 plus years ago, and they were all pier and beam. And so I had an inspector come out and inspect each one of these houses. There were 10 or 12 of them, a whole city block, about 5 blocks east of downtown, prime location, right? And they were cheap back then, relative to what things are right now. But when I had the inspector go through every house, every single one needed a new roof and a new foundation as a minimum. And I crawled under there with him and looked at the foundations. They were all pier and beam, and the piers were cedar tree trunks.
Really?
That's how they used to build houses back then, because cedar is very dense, hardy wood. But in some cases, a tree trunk that was this big, as the beam had been eaten down from time and termites, to this much holding it up. So you can imagine the floors inside the house look like this.
Wavy.
I didn't end up buying them because the seller would not agree to all my repair fund, the money that I asked him to give me to go towards repairs. But I mean, looking back now, I should have paid anything, because I could have built an entire apartment complex on that city block and sold it for $100 million. And we're talking maybe back then $50,000 a house for 10 houses. The second funny part of that story was when I told my grandmother, who was alive at the time, that I was looking at these properties. She said, "Where is it?" And I told her the location. She's like, "That's the house where your dad grew up. Your great grandfather built all those houses. Tony, he would turn over in his grave if you bought those. Don't buy those houses. They're falling apart."
Really?
Yes.
You're kidding
One of them
me.
was the house that my dad grew up in as a kid.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And she was saying, don't buy them.
She said, don't buy them. She literally said, your grandfather or your great grandfather would turn over in his grave if you bought those houses.
Holy smokes. Wow. That's crazy. Someone asked about Project Veritas. It just dawned on me. So I have one better than Project Veritas. Well, not one better, but they finally got me in touch with Glenn Greenwald's PR person. So I've gotten that connection made. What's today? Monday? That happened on Saturday or Friday evening. I think I got the email back. So that's cool news. So Veritas got me in touch with Greenwald's PR person, the director of communications for his Substack or whatever it was. But I have been in touch with Greenwald people, not Glenn Greenwald yet, but I have been in touch with the association itself. Yeah, Veritas, I guess, is they are extremely busy right now. I know that they are looking for people to work there. They sent me back emails asking if I was looking for work. I'm like, I am not moving to DC anytime soon. So that's an update with Veritas, just to let you guys know what's going on with that. Now, someone else just mentioned the comments, so I want to bring it up about June, and I'm assuming I'm trying to find the comment exactly. Super Steven, by the way, sent Tony a chat. Super Steven said, "Thank you both for everything you do and the shout outs to my channel. Gift a new ape a share of AMC before it goes up." So Super Steven,
the next share I buy is dedicated to you, Super Steven. And guys, go check out Super Steven on YouTube with 2 N's, up and coming AMC YouTuber, and some good investment advice for new traders.
there you go.
I like what I'm seeing over on his channel.
Good stuff. Really? Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. Usually you don't lead me astray. So let's see. And someone else, I'm trying to find the other comment now. Damn it, I hate doing this. I'm just gonna start putting them up from now on right away so I don't mess it. Pam says, Purple Sky says, going to bed. We gotta work in the AM. Purple Sky, have a good night, my friend. Food Dog, good to hear. I've been busy all day. Missed all the live chat today. Glad Tony and Mass are on, but they are boring tonight. Thanks, Pam.
I'm going to be here about 15 more minutes, and then I'll obey the Scarlet curfew. I told her an hour and a half, but I'm going to stretch it to 2 hours. So.
Okay, so we're going to do till 11?
I'm going to do till 11 your time. Yeah,
Gotcha.
You feel free to go right on without me.
I can keep going?
Huh?
I can keep going? You okay with that?
It's your stream. You do what you want. I got to
no, I know.
Stop at the top of the hour.
Okay, gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm under jeopardy of being forced to do another pedicure or something stupid.
We might sometimes things get degraded after you leave, and we spiral into chaos as soon as you click off. I hate when that happens. We go to some dark places, Tony. Do I know where Pantheon has been? Savvy asks. Savvy, I spoke with him earlier today. He might be resting right now, maybe getting ready for a show. Old Doge 333. Good night, my friend. Have a good night.
I talked to him briefly on email, but I didn't ask where he is or what he's doing. He's around.
Yeah. He's definitely around. Oh, the comment about June. Tony, do you want to talk real quick while I run to the restroom about the June prediction and
can you put it up on the screen?
Yeah, let me find it.
Great. Just give me the hard questions. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
It's not a difficult question. I just hold on. Son of a bitch. And those nails, by the way, says Irishman are called what? Called square nails. Thank you. All right, let me see. Do you see it? Because I'm missing it here. It said something about June. It was like, hey, guys, don't worry about June. I don't know where it is. The question was about the run-up in June. I'm assuming about Boss Blunt's run-up in June 3rd. Do you want to just talk about that real quick, what your thoughts are?
Yeah, well, I'll give you my thoughts on it. Absolutely. So, as you guys know, I'm still buying AMC on these price dips. I don't set dates on my channel. But what I do know from talking with Boss Blunts, and we did a live stream with him to ask him some probing questions about his conviction on those dates. And we also did both Massalorian and myself, independent without talking to each other, did our own research on those dates. And what I found was there absolutely is some tie-in to the previous executive orders to the run-ups on AMC and GameStop. That is 100% factual. But what I've also told people on my channel is I can't tell you on my channel with 100% certainty that the next executive order coming in early June is absolutely going to drive the price up. So we have two data points that look promising. I'm very excited about the potential of another catalyst. I've bought several call options now expiring in late July, just in case. And man, I sure hope it runs up in June, but I can't tell you with certainty that it's going to happen. Boss Blunts clearly believes in it very strongly, and I trust him. He does a lot of very good due diligence in little corners, crooks and nannies that crooks and crannies. Sorry, if his wife's listening and he has a nanny, I don't know anything about that. Corners, crooks, and crannies of due diligence that most of us don't have time to dig into. So I appreciate all of the work that he does. I 100% hope that he is correct. I will take whatever it takes to get us over the finish line. But I'm waiting to see the third data point, and I'm continuing to buy the dips judiciously in the meantime, just in case. Nooks
Stacey,
and crannies. Man, I got that all screwed up, didn't I? I said Boss Blunts is checking out all those crooks and nannies. Nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
I guess this Smirnoff that Scarlett bought me is getting to me.
Sub has the boss. Good evening, man. Good evening. Have a good night. Roseanne, good night. Good night. Super Steven, have a good night. Pam, fall weddings are so romantic in the islands. Rick James is throwing some G at Pam right now in the chat. Abe Source Wall Street, good evening, man. How you doing tonight? What were you just saying about the June thing? What did I miss?
I just said in one sentence summary, there's two data points which line up previous with executive orders and the run-ups. That is indisputable. Whether or not the third one happens, I guess we'll wait and see. I'm taking a wait and see. I'm very hopeful that it happens, but I can't say with 100% certainty that it will happen. But if it does, hey, we all win, and let's fucking go.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to be over in 3 weeks. No doubt about it. But if that time period between the 27th and 3rd or 4th and 5th of June and nothing happens, literally the stock price stays the same. If it goes down, I'm still not selling.
Right.
That's just a date to me. That's all it is. It's just a possibility for inciting violence in the squeeze.
That is my biggest concern. The reason I don't talk about dates, I'll talk about executive orders or regulations or this and that potential catalyst, but I try not to tie them to dates, because then you potentially set up people to, we've seen this over and over for the last year, people throwing out dates. And I think Boss Blunts has done a great job of, giving appropriate warnings. Like he's clearly said, I'm not saying something's going to happen on this date. So kudos to him for being clear in his communication, but not everybody hears everything. And I want people to not lose conviction if something doesn't happen by a certain date. It's a potential catalyst. Let's just view it as that. And if it happens, awesome. And if it doesn't, well, we're just in for a little bit longer wait. That's all.
So Mike Millspaw, good evening, Mike, says EO renewal in June allows the U.S. government to restrict the purchase of China stocks related to their military by U.S. citizens and companies. There's a bunch of other things on there too, Mike. Now they've added communication companies and telecom, all kinds of things. But that's true, Mike. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Mike's always coming up with the good info. Ken Lindsley says, Boss Blunts has called the squeeze before. Nothing against him. Just be careful with dates. This is going to take some time. Be patient. I think, Ken, we're all, I think the people who are still here now have the patience. We might not have the smarts or the wit or the charm, but we do have the patience. One thing I can attest for Tony is he has tons of patience. And Rick James says he's 1,000% correct. Well said, Tony. Let's see. Wait for a year for a pathetic 10% raise. Wait for this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's Jason T says submitted AMC proxy vote. Website stated I had 100 shares. In the meantime, I hold. Yeah. Tony had the same issue, right, Tony?
I did. I had almost all of my proxy votes for every company I own that came in the last 2 weeks were short a certain amount of shares. Backed Holdings, BKKT, was short by 50%, almost 45, 50%. And so I did call them up. I did a video on this last week. And they told me because I have a margin account, which I use for day trading other stocks, that they have the right to lend out my shares and I lose those voting rights. And so in my video that I posted on my channel last week, I looked up that I was waiting. I just wanted to hear them say it because I honestly was confused. This has never really been something I cared about before to this degree. I was confused who retained the voting rights, the original owner, me, or the person they lent it to. And in fact, the margin agreement says the owner, me, loses the voting rights and the person they lend it to gets the voting rights. So sucks for us. Right. If you have a cash account, then you definitely need to dig into that. If you have a margin account, that is most likely going to be the explanation that they loaned out your shares to somebody else.
Okay. Susan's asking, where does it show your where does it show your share count? After your vote or before? Susan's asking.
Mine showed before.
Before, right? Okay. Derek J. Good evening, Derek J. And Tell Dog, I see, is in the chat. 424. Not sure if it's a Canada thing, but I'm not missing any GME and AMC proxy votes. I've checked with a couple people in Canada, Derek J, and I've gotten the same thing back. They have had no issues up there. I don't know why that is, but the couple people who I have spoke to in Canada have said they haven't had any issues. Almost everyone in the United States I've talked to seems like they've had some issues, but
I got a lot of comments back on my video, and I don't think I've seen a single one missing votes that said they had a cash account. So clearly, I mean, we all know there's benefits to having a cash account. Don't have a margin account if you're not using margin.
Yeah,
if you're
please,
not,
guys.
If you're not regularly trading using margin, just have them convert it to a cash account.
Yes.
If you need it, like I do, then I mean, it's a penalty I have to accept.
Yep. I want to say hey to Yucca Ferda. I saw Yucca was in the chat, and there were some new people here that just came on. I said hey to Jason T, Food Dog. We got Derek J. All right, so I want to make sure I get everybody who just came on. Ron, good evening. Ron says dumb and patient Abe. That's right. We are patient. Let's see here. Let's see.
Christian Princess.
Yeah, I was just about to pull her up. Hold on, I'll come right back to you. Let me get Christian Princess up. This thing goes so fast. Sometimes you just hit the wrong button. I was missing a few, and I was told that it's because I bought them after the proxy email. Yes, Christian Princess, that's correct. If you bought post that date, yes, they will not show up. Right?
The
Tony?
date of record was what, like April 18th or April 27th, something like that. If you bought anything after that date, those also will not count.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure what the date is, guys. You'd have to go look it up. But if you bought post that date, they will not appear. Let's see. Randall Cornett. Good evening, my friend. How you doing tonight, buddy?
What's up, Randall?
How are you? Hope you're well. Tony's getting ready to wrap this thing down. He's got about 7 minutes, so we're trying to sneak everybody in right now. Randall, hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for coming by and saying what's up. Appreciate the support. Let's see. Now it's going to be the Randall hour for the next hour. We're going to have Rand. It happens when Pam comes in. Susan came in earlier. It's either a female or another YouTuber comes in, or any female. It's just immediately.
Is it true, Massalorian, that you have the most female viewers of any YouTube channel out there covering AMC?
Who said that?
I don't know. I mean, I thought I heard you say it a couple times.
Fuck no, I've never said that. I've never said that. Absolutely not. I don't even like swearing. Let's see.
That was an inside joke that only a few people will get. You may not know what I'm talking about, Massalorian. I know some of you know.
But I would never say something like that. So I know that's never flown out of my mouth. I know that.
It's only true if you're also the #1 short squeeze specialist rated on Facebook, Google, and YouTube.
Oh, okay. Now I know. Now I'm following. Now I'm following it.
But
Thanks, Randall. Appreciate you, bro. Timmy is asking thoughts on BBIG and TYDE. Tony, I know you have some thoughts on BBIG. Do you want to share that?
well, my thoughts probably aren't the ones people want to hear. I mean, but I did buy, I did buy some BBIG calls just in case. Look, I've been looking at BBIG for a year. I've never once found a reason to own it, even with the Cryptide spinoff. But all that being said, just in case, I did buy some call options because I want to be on record and in the play before May 18th. That's just 2 days away, the date of record for the Cryptide spinoff. And maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. You know, what I keep on saying is spinoffs happen all the time, right? Right, Massalorian? Spinoffs happen.
They do.
And how many stocks have you heard that had a short squeeze because of a spinoff? I'm just saying. I don't recall many, if any, that had a short squeeze because they spun off. Now, I'm being a little bit tongue in cheek, and I will go do the work, but you guys could also do it. Let's go look together at any recent stock in the last 2 years that did a spinoff and had high short interest. Did it squeeze because of the spinoff?
Right.
I personally don't think that the spinoff is a catalyst, but just in case, I threw a couple bones down on it. Scarlett might not be able to go get her lashes and nails done next Friday. If we're wrong, I'm not going to go put my paycheck into BBIG because of a spinoff,
right?
Pump and dump that's being pushed out there. But I'll throw a couple bones at it just in case. You know, what's the worst that could happen?
Yep. Yeah. And on that note, Liz Clayman just showed up in the chat. Good evening, Liz Clayman. We were looking for you.
Clayman in the house.
Let's see. All right. So you were just saying that you got those calls on BBIG. Okay.
Yeah.
Pantheon's in the chat.
I can tell you exactly what I bought. Hang on one second.
Casey Shaw goes, this is why I don't drop comments.
I have June 10th, $3 strikes on BBIG.
June 10th. Okay.
They're either going to go to zero or I'm going to double or triple my money. I'm okay with either outcome.
But you left yourself 3 weeks. So
yeah.
Casey says this is why I don't drop comments. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate you, brother, but you can always comment. You know that. Don't be afraid. You can always comment on here. Let's see.
Hey,
Jeffrey.
what's up, buddy?
Jeffrey, good evening tonight. How you doing tonight? Let's see. And see, he's not even saying hi to me and you. Jeff gets on and says, hey, my guy, Randall. Now, Jeff's been quiet all night, right? Randall comes on. All of a sudden, he's excited. Oh, boy.
It's okay. Lives work
joke.
that way, Massalorian. Sometimes they're talking with us, and sometimes they're just talking with each other. I've learned to, just accept that that's how live streams are, especially when everybody knows each other. It's the beauty of a community.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone said, what about SoFi? I bought more SoFi today at $7, as a matter of fact.
Did you?
Yes. SoFi for me is a 5-year play. It's a non-revenue company, pre-revenue, early in. You should look at it as speculative. There's no guarantee it's going to stay at 7. Could go down even lower. It was recently in the 6s. But I'm playing it for a long-term play.
The new guy, you're very welcome. The documentary's on YouTube. It's called Wall Street Bets. The Legend of Wall Street Bets Diamond Hands is the name of the docu. It's on YouTube right now. And as of right this second, I will tell you it has, let's see, it went up 8 hours ago. And as of right now, we're closing in on 6,500 views. Okay. So yeah, it's on YouTube right now. One of the guys who's in the documentary put it up on his channel. So if you don't have MSNBC, if you're streaming, you can go find it on YouTube right now. Brendan, Ella, good evening. Chris Carr, good evening. I see some new people coming in. Sean Miller says, can we talk about AMC? Tony, you want to talk about AMC?
Yeah, I'm about to sign off, but this broadcast is available on replay, and we spent I think the first hour talking pretty much nonstop about AMC in the documentary. And it's really, we gauge the ebb and flow of a live stream is often based on the questions that people are asking in the chat. We had a rough outline of what we wanted to talk about, and that was mostly covered in the beginning part of the broadcast. So feel free to go back and watch it at your leisure. Pantheon's in the house. There he is.
Yes, I said that. I
What's
did.
up,
I did say
amigo?
that, Tony.
Huh? You said that?
I did say that earlier. Yeah, I
Oh,
said Pantheon's in
Sorry,
the house.
I was
Hey,
getting the
Tony.
evil eye from Scarlett.
That's okay.
Distracted me. I was
That's okay.
getting the laser beam eyes.
So this is the fourth person that says I didn't get a notification from YouTube. And Liz, you have the alarm bell on, right? So you should get a notification. I put the thing up at 6 o'clock.
We're being shadow banned.
I don't even believe that. I just think there's some bullshit going on that no one's paying attention to. I don't know what it is. I don't know how some people get 20,000 views on a video of some guy holding up a phone of someone else talking. That gets 22,000 views, but I can spend 6 hours and make a 16-minute mini documentary that doesn't even pull in four digits. It's nuts. Let's see. Carl says YouTube being shady. I don't know what their problem is. Let's see. YouTube is glitchy. I get notifications hours later, says Rando. Yeah, man. I know. Brenda and Ella's Adventure didn't get a notification either. What is going on? And you guys, I'm sure, have on the you have the bell on, right? Bullshit.
And they had 2 chances, right? Your channel and mine.
Or right. That's another thing. Like, you should have gotten at least one of us. If you have the bell on, you should have gotten a notification that we were going live. I put up
I can say
3 hours.
For a fact, Massalorian, on my phone, I got an alert 30 minutes before pop up that said the Massalorian is about to go live in 30 minutes. So
You
worked
did
for
get it.
me.
Oh, and I got yours. And I got yours as well. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
they're
go
keeping
figure.
us in the dark.
Yeah.
They make it look good to us, but everybody else are like, screw you.
Seriously. Tell dog, same. Look, all of you guys, none of you guys got notifications. You all have the bell on. That's insane. That's crazy.
Well, I'm gonna sign off. Maybe Pantheon can come in if you guys want to keep going, or maybe he's just gonna listen in and let you get into some political stuff or some deeper, darker nooks and crannies. I'm gonna say it right this time.
If anybody in the chat right now wants to hop on when Tony comes off, feel free. Tony, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Hey, it's been a pleasure as always. I will see you guys in the morning at Market Open, and let's fucking go. Let's make some money. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for all the views, and shout out to Massalorian, Pantheon, Jeffrey. Who else?
Casey Shaw,
KC, Steven, Super Steven, and everybody else who is content creators. Go support these guys too. All of them are great folks. And I will see you guys in the morning. Take care.
All right, T. Love you, buddy. Have a good night. Say hi to Scarlett. All right, guys. I think we're alone now. And all of a sudden, I just lost 200 people. Wow, that was fast. Okay. That's all right, though. I see Hammers in the chat. Good evening, Hammer. Good evening. Good evening. Everyone's saying thanks to Tony. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to stay on for a little bit if you guys want, unless it completely drops off. But I was going to stay on for a little bit. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, by the way, if there is anyone out there who tomorrow is at a store, any type of store, a Walgreens, a Walmart, a grocery store, if you happen to go down the aisle with baby formula and you think of it, would you mind doing me a favor and taking a picture of it and emailing it to me? I'm trying to work on figuring out what's going on with this formula thing. And I've gotten a couple. Pam has responded to me, and Liz. Some people have gotten back to me. Big Country to send me some pictures from across the country, because I'll tell you, here our shelves are bare. There is nothing, no product, zero. So I'm trying to see what's going on with this. So if you happen to tomorrow be walking by and it dawns on you to take a picture, that would be great. And if you could send it to me, that would be amazing. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I'm going to try and get some questions in here. Harry Parrott says, okay, now let's talk about some real stuff. Bigfoot has taken over for Kenny's chair. at Citadel. Oh, obviously we have to. Why do we always have to take a downward spiral when Tony goes off and we turn to animals and heathens? Let's see. Mass, have you played the TD drinking game? You take a sip of your favorite cocktail when he says I, me, or my. No, I have seen you guys play some like bingo drinking games though. Someday when I have nothing that I can be working on, I will definitely come do it with you guys. Absolutely. After the MOAS, I'll play tons of drinking games online. Not Many Advice says you can search in Palantir unclassified, takes us a journey through code, the imagination, and quantum things. Maybe they man, Not Money Advice. You have the most craziest writing style and verbiage, but evidence to me that memes programmed AI. Apparently Elon's looking into that. I guess that he thinks a lot of the people on Twitter are actually bots. Man, that wouldn't be too shocking, would it? SoCal Ape, good evening, brother. How you doing tonight? Eric, good evening. I see Eric Roper in the house. My local grocery store had formula behind the counter now. Oh, because yeah, you're in SoCal. Of course they do. You guys don't have any laws against stealing. Pam says, I love bingo. It's fun. Gus says, I had a question. Do you think AMC will break $34 during the next market pump? Are you referring that to Gus because it happened last month? Or will they slap another volatility halt on us and just send us right back down to 10? Just rinse and repeat. Remember, they sent us on a halt on the way down, right? They didn't halt us on the way up. Those bastards pulled the opposite. First time I've ever seen it in history. And I'm assuming, Gus, you're referring to last month when we ran up that 34 and then they put the halt on the way down. I don't think they will do that. No, I don't believe. Diaslo asked about MMAT. Wrong stock. Wrong channel for MMAT, brother. I don't know anything about it. Tony might know a little bit more MMAT. Boss is coming up in 10 minutes. Go in there with Boss at Mass. Brendan Ellen, that's if Boss is coming up, I'm probably gonna go watch Boss. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go watch Boss. If he's on, what time is he going on, you guys? You know, 10:15? If someone lets me know in the chat, I'll definitely go on and join you guys and watch. Same here. Lock behind the counter. Apes vs. Wall Street says. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Hope for a generation. How you doing tonight, brother? If they are sending formula overseas, it sounds like what we did with all of our PPE when C19 started. Yeah, I don't know where it's all going. I'm trying to find. I just did my local area and I contacted a few people today. I'm just starting on the story. It's in its infancy stages right now. So it's going to be a little bit before I have all the facts. He probably has his comments turned off. Lou is selling his breast milk on eBay. That's awesome, Rick James. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's an amazing comment. Houston Wade knows about MMAT. Liz Clayman's Whistle says, okay, so whoever just asked me about that, I forget who was just asking me about MMAT, but there is your answer. Houston Wade is the man to talk to. Oh my goodness. We have a special guest dropping in. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure the gentleman's ready to go. I just got this out of nowhere. Hang on. No problem. No problem. Okay. I'm going to bring on this special guest for a minute. Hello, Pantheon.
Well, hello, Mr. Mass.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm a mystery wrapped in a riddle tonight.
You are. Stuffed in a tortilla? What are you doing?
I'm busy these days working on some stuff here.
Okay. All right. What do you, anything you can tell us about, or?
Oh, I mean, I can if you want me to. You know what it's about. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's about that thing it's picked up. Do you want me to talk about that or not?
No. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to do that. What did you something specifically you wanted to touch on when you came on? Hey, Dana.
No, I just thought I haven't talked to you in a bit. Thought I'd just come say hi to you.
No, I'm glad you came on. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I did send you the link, right? And you got the I sent you a text, right, saying we were going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and I was cleared up, but when I got that, I ended up taking another call.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, I can mention it right now if you want quickly.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
I saw there was a question earlier. I just logged in and somebody asked, where's Pantheon been? So what I'm currently doing is I'm currently suing an employer in Canada for illegally putting people to the sideline because of failure to vaccinate. It's not a stance on the vaccine. It's not a stance on the virus of unknown origins. It's strictly a matter of people's rights. And when somebody's put on a forced leave of absence, that is an employee's right, not an employer's right. So I'm currently helping people who don't have the means to do this for themselves. And so I am leading a lawsuit against this employer, and we're in discovery phase. So I've been extremely busy with the last little bit here, talking with people back and forth on video cameras to get stories straight. And basically, that is what's taken up my time lately. And that is also why my face doesn't go on camera. Once that's dealt with, I will be fully on camera. So for all of those who bash me for not putting my face on camera, that is why. I don't want anything I say with my face on it being tipped off to be, wrongfully put in front of a discovery phase to in any way, shape, or form hurt what I'm working on. So that's the quick nuts and bolts, and that's what I've been up to.
Okay. It's I'm really glad that you just divulged all that information so everyone knows what's going on now. And I will say right now, I know Pantheon behind closed doors has a very handsome face. When you see it, you will be excited. Trust me, ladies. Trust me. If I am the biggest female channel right now, that will change when Pantheon goes live.
Okay, it just got weird.
It got weird. No, it didn't get weird because Clark's here now. So all of a sudden things are back to normal. Because I was like, wow, Clark hasn't asked a question all night. I haven't seen him. Here he is. Now Pantheon's here. Now we'll start to talk. By the way, Pantheon, did you hear that in the last 3 months, we've lost $6 trillion in the market? Since March?
Yeah, the last week and a half, my head has been completely buried in my thing I'm doing. So I haven't caught that number. That's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. Let me just make sure we clarify this. You are not anti-vax, right? You are anti-mandate, correct?
I am anti-mandate, and I am for sticking up for people's rights who can't afford. I worked for a large construction company. I no longer work for them. There are people who did not have the means to push this forward, so I'm doing it for them, and I'm standing with them. It's about people's rights. It's not about whether the virus is real or not real. It's not about whether the vaccine works or doesn't work. It's not about that. This is strictly about people's employment ability and their employment rights. And that's something I won't stand for. So I'm trying to help people, just like you and I and Tony, we try to help people here, right?
Yeah, right on. I mean, I think that's why me, Pantheon, and Tony click so well, is because we all have very similar, I wouldn't say ideologies, but just what would you say, Pantheon? Beliefs?
Yeah.
Belief in constitutional autonomy and rights. I mean,
we're on the same page. I see there's a question here from did he quit AMC? Absolutely not. I just haven't had time to put into new information. And by the time I've been so busy with this the last week and a half, by the time I do come up with something, like 50 other people have already put it out there. So there's no point, right? I don't want to be following people if somebody else has already just done a good job on it.
Right. Yep. Same here, guys. Same here. Randall says, let people live and do what they want is my motto. Take it if you want to, don't take it if you don't. Randall, I'm the same way. And I know Pantheon, I mean, if you want to run around wear a mask or wear 10 masks and cover your entire head, if you want to put a plastic bag over your head and walk around with just the eyes slit out to make sure that you're protected, I have no problem with that. Just don't ask me to do something that you're truly capable of doing yourself.
Did you see the report that one of the factories that was producing, and this is not what I intended to go down the road of, but one of the factories that was producing many of the vaccines had, I think it was 400,000 or something like that. Maybe it was even more doses it was more than that were contaminated, and employees anyways, we're going down a road we shouldn't go down. That's not what this whole thing is about. So we'll drop that.
But there was a contamination in one of the factories was producing the vaccine?
There's a
one of
company
the
that got
companies?
a $400 and some million contract with the government to produce on behalf of both Pfizer and Johnson and Johnson. And
Okay.
the Johnson and Johnson batches that they were making were contaminated, and employees actually brought that up to management. And there's records of all this. It's in the New York Times right now, this whole story. And they brought all this forward, and it was ignored. And they were putting these yellow stickers on the barrels that say they're contaminated without getting rid of them. And then when the FDA came to inspect, they took the stickers off at the management's direction. And then when they left, they put the stickers back on. So nobody really knows if the stickers went back on the right barrels or how that was handled. This whole thing has just come out. So
I didn't know
it's
any of this.
yeah, it's in the New York Times right now. It's a fascinating story. Not to say that the vaccines aren't any good. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't take that from this. There's
Please
just
don't
some interest.
demonetize us, YouTube.
Yeah, there's interesting stories coming out now of problems of why people were perhaps hesitant, and that's not what it's about. My thing, it's about employment rights. So
Yeah. Bodily autonomy and not conflicting the government and their role in your life. They only have so far reach as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. The government wants us, Clark says the government wants us totally to be dependent on them from cradle to graves. Yeah, they do. They want us to be dependent on them for everything. They want to have complete control, right? They know they're losing control right now. And just like I put on the front of the thumbnail, George Washington said it best. Whenever an administration is leaving office, the last thing they do is loot the treasury. And what are we seeing right now? Look at the most powerful people in this administration, how much money they are making, hand over fist. And they're all on their way out the door. So this mess is going to land on the next administration and all of our taxes. Someone said, "Do I want cheese with that wine?" I only got it under my doctor's recommendation due to underlying health concerns. Fully vaxxed, still got it twice, and was the sickest I've ever been. I know, Mike. I've had the same thing. I know someone that had it that had serious complications with it. Still went ahead and got the booster after. I mean, it's just it to each his own is the way I feel. If you want to stab yourself with 900 needles and inject yourself with Moderna all over your body, go for it. I would say pump it up. But that's on you. Nobody else. Do you want to elaborate on that, Mr. Pantheon?
no, the intent of bringing that up was only to address the person's question of where I've been. I certainly wasn't trying to pull this into your show's topic to respect your channel.
No, you're fine. Doesn't matter. That's fine. I mean, this is we're probably already demonetized. I'm not even worried about it. Okay, so you've been working on that. Are you planning on going back to doing some radio streams this week, or are you going to take the week off? Do you know? Kind of, you playing by ear?
I was hoping to get back into doing the shows this week.
Okay.
And then, like I told you earlier today, I texted you back saying I was clear all day, and then I got a call from the lawyer. So
right before,
yeah, right before that. So I've been on the phone with him for the last whole bunch of time here.
figures.
Yeah, they've shot themselves in the foot on this one, so it's getting good. And by the way, everyone, when this is fully done, I will not accept anything that requires my mouth being shut. So I will unveil everything when this is all finished and we've won. And Mass, I'd be happy to do it on your show if you want.
That would be awesome. I'd love to do the reveal.
Happy to do it for you.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
It's going to take a while yet, though.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're working on it, right? I mean, all we need to do is get to a point where they've decided that they're going to settle, right? I mean, that's basically. I mean, is that kind of what you're thinking right now for the short term as far as where it's heading? This is going to come to a settlement soon?
No, they've already offered that.
They have. Okay, and that's been rejected, right?
And I've said no.
Okay, got it.
The
so
point of this is not.
Out.
The point of this is not for me to make money. The point of this is to set a precedent.
Right. Yep. But how do you set that precedent? You set that precedent by suing the shit out of them, right?
And by winning in court that doesn't get concealed with an agreement. Like when hedge funds get fined by the SEC, they get to sign an agreement that they don't have to talk about it or admit that they were wrong, right? And they get to write that number off their taxes at the end of the year. So that's what I won't do is I won't accept any kind of deal where I have to remain quiet about the outcome.
It's like an alpha plea almost, right?
And then
With
this
the
can
hedge
be a
funds.
case that can be a precedent for anyone else's future cases within Canada.
Yeah, this would be a benchmark case, right? I mean, they would be looking back to this going forward.
This is the first one.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, this is actually precedent, groundbreaking stuff here, guys.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Canada, right? And is this considered a dispute with the federal government, or is it from the territory? How does it go?
Strictly with an employer.
Strictly with an employer. The government's out
Yeah.
of it. Okay.
There were some professions, and I'm not sure. I think it must have been similar in the U.S. There were some professions that required you to have a both your shots in order to work, like long-term care homes, things like that. That makes sense, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
deal with a vulnerable population. I worked for one of the largest design and construction companies in the country, and there's no federal mandate that working on a construction site requires it. And I build and design hospitals, and there's no requirement that on a construction site on a hospital grounds, when you don't enter the existing facility, that you need to also have it. There is zero requirement. So it is entirely up to the employers. And the employers, in this case, made the decision at my company, which what turns out is completely illegal to do that. It's actually a form of discrimination. So, and there were people that literally go out to the job site and swing a hammer. You know, we're talking kids that are 22 years old and were hesitant and lost their jobs. And you can't get unemployment insurance. You can't get any benefits. You can't get anything. You can't get a job. You can't get any assistance from the government. So what are they going to do? They're going to move back home. Now, what if we got kids, and what if you've got, daycare costs and a mortgage cost? What are you supposed to do? Right.
Yeah.
And that whole thing shut down as of the end of October, which coincides with when my channel started. Right. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had time.
KYP says, are we going to talk AMC in the squeeze? LOL. KYP. So the first hour, hun, we covered basically the whole video from last night, the MSNBC video. I don't know, Pantheon, if you got a chance. Oh, actually, I know the answer to this, so we'll talk about it in a second. But KYP, so if you go back and watch on the replay, I don't know how long Pantheon's staying on for, but I am on for another 30 minutes. If you go back and watch the first hour and 10, 20 minutes, we broke down the whole video, our thoughts on it, our thoughts about the price next week. Well, not the price next week, but we broke down the first hour and a half, pretty much everything AMC. I think we're AMC out for the night. I don't know if there's anything else. I think we just basically brought everything to the table that we could think of at the time. There's something I'm missing. Did you notice tonight? You watched the movie, right? The documentary.
I did manage to watch that before.
Okay.
Yes.
What were your thoughts? Just tell me what was your reaction after turning it off, after ending it?
It felt like a hatchet job.
Yeah, right. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Like a psychological warfare tool, right?
Yeah. I brought Mrs. Pantheon in to watch it with me, and I didn't say anything to her. We watched it for the first time together.
Okay.
And it felt like they were trying to wrap the whole thing up into a bow to say, you're done. And you should have sold, which is what I basically got out of it, right? And
I got.
I think that's BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yes. I think I was saying to Tony earlier before we came on the live stream. He said, well, for 1 minute, let's talk about, because you know how usually we do this thing where we don't talk in between amongst each other until we put out what we want to say. You know how we kind of do that thing where we don't, ask for recommendations or opinions until after. So he said, I said, just give me a 1 minute breakdown. I was like, what was your feeling? He went into his. Did you see the beginning of the podcast? What were we talking about?
No, I didn't see anything until I popped in where the question on the screen said, where's Pantheon been?
Okay. All right. I was just talking about going back and researching who owns MSNBC. Comcast is the major owner. How much BlackRock, Vanguard, and some of these other guys have tied up into MSNBC. I was trying to look at it through a different lens. To me, the last 45 minutes of it seemed like they were trying to show a bunch of freaked out people how terrible a MOAS can be, or the beginnings of a MOAS, and how discombobulated you become, and you can't sleep, and you should have just sold instead of being greedy, and you thought you were a millionaire making many. To me, it seemed like complete psych ops. Like they were just trying to let's say that let's say there's a possibility the next couple of weeks, there are some things that could be happening that could trigger a MOAS. Let's just say the possibility is out there. Then the timing for this video would not have been more perfect, because I was trying to think to myself, it's the middle of May. The market is in the shitter right now. Nothing is going on good in the world. There's no good news. There's no catalyst, no nothing. Why would you drop this video on March 16th? So right before we've had 2 other run-ups in the past. Why is this timing seems so weird to me? It just seems like the wrong timing for this type of a video. Like, this has been done before. It's been covered by every major news person. Every major outlet out there has done some type of documentary, whether it be a half an hour, hour and a half. Everyone's covered it. Why is it coming up right now? Have you thought about that at all? Like, where this just came from?
Yeah, the timing is interesting. I mean, I'm not going to say they timed it because we're about to MOAS. I mean,
No, of course not. I'm just
I've
saying
never
it's
given
interesting.
dates or prices on that sense, right? But
Right.
the timing is rather interesting. And more than that, I turned to Mrs. Pantheon and said, why would these influencers agree to do something like this? I just don't understand why
Another
they
thing.
would do that. But they're all the ones who actually sold and ended up with, some money out of it. And that's a good thing, right? I mean, the one guy came out with
Yes.
$8 million. Kudos. Good for him.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. The intent of what we're doing is for all of us to make money. You can't hate on
course.
somebody who made money. But they didn't really focus any of the end portions on, here's the folks that sold and made money. Thumbs up. And the one lady, she was like, I moved my position into crypto and I'm set for life if it works out
yeah.
the way I expect. Good for her. I sincerely mean that. But what they didn't mention was the short position and how there's still not proof that the shorts had actually covered. But they did nicely play that clip of the little rat from MSNBC talking about how, Gabe caught off the phone with me and he told me he sold his whole position back in February of 2021, right? They played that clip. I mean, we
Was
know
that
they didn't.
Gasparino?
No, that wasn't. That was the guy
Sorkin.
Andrew Sorkin. Yeah, I love that clip. I knew they were going to play that one.
Yeah, that one in Charles Payne when he screams 140%.
Yeah, and the
Those are my
Kramer
two
one where
favorites.
he's like, just take the
Take
home
the
run.
money.
You don't have
Yeah,
to go
grand
for
slam.
the grand slam or whatever.
I
Like,
know.
yeah, and there's no shame in anybody making money. That's
of
what
course
we're here
not.
for. That's what we're here
Right.
for. But they
Right.
really could have followed up, to be fair, at the end by saying, the people who are still holding, there are reasons they are still holding. Right.
The last 45 minutes, Pantheon, they broke down every day of this squeeze from January 24th or whatever till like February 3rd. And they kept flashing the numbers going up and down using green and red. And to me, it just shouted like, wow, this is a tricky situation. Maybe I shouldn't be in this play. I don't want to get screwed if this is going to happen. I'm not holding out for high numbers to get fucked like these people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Clark says, what do we think will trigger the MOAS next couple of weeks? So, Clark, I'm just going off of, this is all kind of on all the DD that's been done about the executive order, right? And Pantheon's covered this, and Boss, and a bunch of us have looked into it. And, with this premise and some of the new information that's come out about the outlying situation, it seems like, we could be in this time period when this executive order is coming up. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, we can't say, right? We can't predict the future. But it seems like there's a possibility that every other time this has happened, we've had a run, and it could happen again. And because of the extenuating market conditions right now, the timing could be perfect for us to MOAS. Pantheon, you want to elaborate on that?
Sure. So I'm going to clarify. I'm not suggesting we're going to trigger the MOAS in the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to be very clear about that. But we do have a very interesting timeline in front of us of a series of events that have taken place. For example, right? We knew, and do you want me to just go through the timeline?
Go for it.
Okay. So back on January, and by the way, this timeline was prepared by using information from many, many people, right? Contributions from Massalorian, from Tony Denaro, from Boss Blunts, from AMC Bigums, from Randall Cornett. There's a bunch of people who have come up with information, and all that I've done is, and I've some of this is from me too, and what I've done is put it all together into a timeline that is very similar to my history of AMC video, so people can just see it in a nice linear fashion, right? You can't see it, but I'm looking at it right now. But anyways,
Right.
okay, having said that, this is the work of many people pulled together into a clear way to understand. So on January 28th, the plunge protection team dropped $50 billion of puts on to keep the market from melting down. Then we jump into March 9th. This is all from 2022. The executive order for central bank digital currency was required, or it was issued, and that was going to be due in 180 days, which would take us to September for the executive order on the central bank digital currency, not to be confused with the executive order on the Chinese assets. We'll talk about that in a second.
Right, they're different.
Then on April 12th, 2022, the NSCC 2022-003 was posted to the SEC website for proposed rule changes that many people have talked about, right? And that's the reemergence of what basically is the pawn shop rule, but in a different fashion, okay? And Randall and Bigums and many people have talked about that in great detail. In fact, Astro had a really good video on that too. Then we jump to April 20th, 2022, and Melvin Capital announced they're going to unwind their current fund for June 30th due to the high watermark targets. High watermark targets are when you have new investors come in. The fund says our 5-year running history is about 20%. So we will take our fees, but we won't take any extra bonuses for our traders unless we beat 20%. We will beat our 5-year average for you. Now, since Melvin has lost so much bloody money, you have to actually get Melvin right back to whole and then beat that by 20% for the traders to ever get a bonus. So this is what they came out and said on April 20th. We're never going to get bonuses for our traders the way that this fund has been destroyed by GameStop. So we're gonna pull down the fund and restart it so that the watermark gets reset and our traders won't leave us. Now that might be true, okay? And it does seem like it makes sense. But why would you announce that on April 20th for a June 30th? This isn't a publicly traded company, it's a private company. So just keep that in mind.
Right.
Why would they announce it that early? You know, and I talked about this with Boss Blunts, for example, and Cash Money, and they had the same idea as me. They did that, so there's now a record as of April 20th that this was announced. So whatever happens in the future, everybody can point back to this and say, no, we've known since April 20th they were going to do this. Okay,
Right.
keep that in mind. Then we jump to May 9th. AMC's Q1 earnings webcast was set for after the market closed. Okay. The next day, May 10th, was the expiry of the 2022-003 public comment. So I'm on the lookout to see if they fast track that this week into effect, or if they're going to reissue it for another set of comments. I believe that is going to be put into effect in the month of May. Speculation. I don't have receipts on that last part, but that's what I believe. So I'm watching for that. So be on the lookout for NSCC 2022-003 and see what happens, because 6 days ago, it came out of public comment period. Mentioning for you, by the way, I've never seen the SEC put out a new proposed rule for comment period less than 30 days. This was put out with less than 30 days of period. Usually it's 60 to 90 days, right?
Yeah, what's the rush?
Well, we can all make our own determination on the rush for the pawn shop rule. I think will be fast tracked in the month of May. Now, then we have on May 23rd, the options chain is lowest. So we've got well, okay, what I'm missing from here right now, I'll come to that May 27th, but today, or is it the 18th? Sorry, the 18th, we've got the cutoff date on Wednesday for the BBIG 10 shares for one shareholders of record, which will then become a share of Cryptide for every 10 shares of BBIG you've got later on May 27th. But we'll come back to that. So we look at the options chain now, and when you see an options chain, look at this week's options chain. For anyone that says, how do you do that? Just go to yahoo.com, click on finance, click on, or type in AMC Entertainment, and then click on options. And you can have a drop-down menu that shows you. It's a real simple, easy way. There's other websites. There's lots of good websites for it, but that's an easy one that people can easily use, where it'll show you how many options are currently in play on a given week, because they always expire on a Friday. So if you look at this week, the middle of the month is always open in advance by a couple of months, but the first, second, and fourth weeks aren't. they get revealed as you get closer to it. So this week has what looks like a pretty normal options chain. Next week and the first 2 weeks of June have basically dead options chains. They had a little bit more added up for the last week of May, but the first 2 weeks of June are completely dead for the options chain. So why would these people who are selling out of the money and in the money and at the money options to shareholders, why would they not be selling them right now? Did they all of a sudden decide they don't want money? Or are they trying to not put a lot of options out there for people that would become all in the money if something were to run? Not saying it will, just putting information out there, people can put their own determination together. Then we jump back to May 26th. So today, May 16th, was the deadline for the Thrift Savings Plan TSP people to withdraw their funds from the plan. But May 26th is the deadline for people to make changes by that date within the plan. Okay. So you can change from one asset class to another within your TSP. But today was the deadline to pull anything out of the TSP. Now, as of May 26th to June 7th, your TSP plans will be locked in. If you have a thrift savings plan, which is government employees or military personnel, from May 26th to June 7th, you can't make any changes to the plan, but it will reflect what is happening in the markets. Okay, it's an interesting overlap. All these things are overlapping with an interesting time frame. Then we've got May 27th, as I said, BBIG, 10 shares equals 1 share of Cryptide. Then you go to June 2nd, the GME vote on the dividend stock split. Then you jump to June 3rd, Presidential Executive Order 14032, and the threat from Chinese securities activates again, which is something Boss Blunts has talked about in tremendous detail. And by the way, I'm just going to say, have you noticed Frank Nez, which is a fine website, has picked up on the story? Have you checked them out, Mass?
Oh yeah, I've been following them since last summer. Yeah, Frank Nez.
Frank Nez picked up the story of the Executive Order 14032, and now you've got a bunch of YouTubers all jumping on the story. So now everyone's talking about it as we're getting closer to that date, and that's good. It's good that people are aware of it. But I just want to mention, Boss Blunts and the think tank is where that whole thing started. So I want to make sure credit is given where credit is due, but lots of people are talking about it right now.
Yeah.
All right. So then we've got June 30th, Melvin would unwind their current fund. And if you wanted to hide any bodies to pretend there wasn't actually someone, I shouldn't even say the word, that probably gets you demonetized. If you want to hide a body to show there wasn't a crime, you put it in the books of a private fund that's closing their books June 30th. What does that mean? Take from that what you will. The next day, July 1st, Melvin opens a new fund. So the shareholders currently, or the investors currently with Melvin, why would they reinvest their money back in Melvin? They're going to get only a portion of their money back to them. They're all going to take losses. They're not going to reinvest back. Melvin is lowering their fund down to only $5 billion. $5 billion gets them underneath the upcoming phase 6, which is an $8 billion requirement for firms that requires margin on $50 million trades with exposure limit. So anyways, that's an interesting part. And where would they get $5 billion from? They've already announced already going to be $5 billion. So they've already told us they're going to unwind their fund on June 30th, 2 months in advance. And they've already told us they're going to have $5 billion. But all of our current investors, you're welcome back. But we already know it's $5 billion. How do they know that? Maybe 0.72 and Citadel are going to invest in them. I don't know. That part's speculation, but they've already got access to $5 billion from somewhere. That's an interesting part. Then we have July 1st, a new fund opens. So if there's any dirty secrets, they're closed with the private funds books. July 11th, we've got the SEC Consolidated Audit Trail, the CAT system, implemented for full customer and account reporting for all brokers. That's on July 11th. These dates line up so nicely for something to, right? I'm not saying we're going to squeeze folks, but just look at the information and ask yourself.
And neither am I, by the way, just so we're clear on that.
So the whole CAT system, they're currently going through testing protocols of it right now. Every 2 weeks, they have a conference call that I've been calling into and listening, and they talk through all the technical geeks. That's why I like it. And it goes through all the actual problems they're interfacing right now from the existing banks and hedge funds into this system. And the biggest players haven't even attended these calls yet. So it's fascinating that July 11th is creeping up pretty fast, and some of the big players haven't even started the work to work into the CAT system. And this is available for anybody to listen to these things. September 1st, the DTC sees phase 6. The MRs on phase 6 will be implemented. $8 billion firms and up are included. It used to be a higher number. And any margin requirements on $50 million trades for exposure at that number would therefore have to have collateral, which is currently not required. September 5th is the central bank digital currency report on the future of money and payment system, the executive order. That is called Project Lithium. That's when that report's due on September 5th, could be sooner. If they wrap that up by then, and the report's going to say we recommend a central bank digital currency, then does that then roll into perhaps being rolled out to be used pretty quick? Since Robot Godzilla / Project Ion has a T+0 settlement, that would be something the central bank digital currency for the DTC would be ran through. Makes sense. Then you've got November 8th, the midterm elections. So that was a mouthful, and they're probably sick of hearing it from me right now. But when you lay out all that information, like I threw a few things in for my own personal comments, and I said no receipts. That was just me spitballing. But this is all factual information that I'm not throwing hopium out, as some people would say. I'm not winding people up. I'm saying this is the stuff that's real in an orderly fashion of dates from start to finish of 2022. And there's some interesting overlaps of things that are happening. And is coincidence? I don't know.
Possibly. Could be.
Possibly.
But it also could not be.
One hell of a coincidence.
Yeah. Yep.
So just, everybody just sort of keep your eyes peeled. And I'm not saying follow the line. I'm not saying glue to yourself to the computer. We're not saying any of that stuff. I'm certainly not. But just be interested for the rest of May and the month of June. And keep your ears peeled and keep a look at the options chain. If the options chain fills right back up like normal for the first 2 weeks of June, then the gamma is going to be there, right? So
yes.
But if it doesn't, let's talk about that for one quick sec. If it doesn't fill back up and it stays in the hundreds, not thousands, not the tens of thousands, like what is Max Payne this week's got? What, like 200,000? I think something like that. I mean, you multiply that by 100 shares, and that's how many would it be in the money if the MOAS took place this week. So if you do that, you're shooting yourself in the foot by a bunch more shares you're going to have to come up with, which is called gamma, right? Gamma squeeze leads with FOMO, which then jumps into potentially a short squeeze, right? And a MOAS.
Yep.
So if you basically don't sell any contracts for a certain amount of time, and if you have an interest of getting out of this situation in time to roll things into a private fund's books that happen to be closing, if we're spitballing here, tinfoil hats. Somebody asked for tinfoil. I think Susan.
Someone said it right as you showed up. Susan Harbour did. Yeah, she's like, tinfoil, get them out.
So I mean, tinfoil hats. If you were looking at that, saying, well, this is that's a story. If you asked me to write an exit plan, this is what I would write. And I'm looking at this saying, damn, it looks like an exit plan. And I don't know. We're all just sort of speculating here, folks.
We are. But we're trying to line things up and at least give you guys the possibilities, the scenarios, so you can try to plan as best you can. If we come up to these dates and we see things starting to move, just be ready to lock in. That's all. I think it's the only reason why we keep mentioning these things is just to keep everyone on their toes, because you just never know when this thing is going to rip. Go ahead. Yeah. Pantheon, sorry.
And please don't come out of this thinking Pantheon and Mass have just said, man, we're gonna MOAS in June, and if we don't, I'm gonna be depressed. That's not what we're saying. The purpose of going through this time frame is really to establish how I go about looking at all this information, and how I try and put it together in a way that I can review and say, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? That's all. And I'm just trying to show people, one of the things I go through when pulling this stuff together to make an idea. And Harry Parrott asked a question. Did you add that Citadel will allow a certain amount of withdrawal or there is a penalty? So this is only wrapping from 2022, Harry Parrott, but that's a good point. Is leading into that in 2021, we've already had hedge funds back off their own clients and say, you can't take all your money out. You can only take out a certain percent each quarter. And it'll take you it'll be around 4 years for you to actually get all your money out. And when did that last happen? Well, that was right around 2008, right? So the only times these hedge funds restrict their own investors from pulling out their money is when they know there's going to be a problem. And when you want to see what's happening in the economy, you look at the hedge funds and the banks first. You look at what the government's doing
Right.
last, because the hedge funds and the banks see it coming first and start to deal with it first. The government is always reactive in every instance. 1987, 2008, and here we are now, right? Transitory. Should I say no more?
Transitory. I love that word. Yes, transitory. Brilliant. Brilliant. I can't believe a lot of people fell for that too. Remember? I can remember people talking back then when that word was going around saying and believing that the market was not artificially inflated while knowing full well what's going on behind the scenes. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. What did you think about the fact that they didn't mention AMC at all in the video?
It was
What did you
mentioned
take
once.
from that?
It was
I'm
mentioned
sorry.
once.
One time, yes.
One person said they purchased AMC shares when they were
Correct.
talking about the buy button being removed.
Right, that's right.
I'm
Yes.
I'm actually okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I would love that when the MOAS happens, everybody is still saying GME, 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 and we can all just sort of slip over to the Philippines and have our fun, swim with the whale sharks, and nobody's looking for us.
Yes.
I'd rather win the lottery and nobody be thinking the lottery even took place than be looking for the other lottery that everyone was talking about, right?
Yes.
Does that make any
Yes.
sense?
Yes. Yes. Are you asking
Doesn't
me
it?
if it makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't insult me at all that they didn't mention AMC. In fact, I'd prefer they don't.
I think they don't want anyone thinking about or talking about AMC. Like I said, I went back just to look at Msnbc and all of their details and their financials about who's the biggest owners in Comcast, and it's all the usual suspects, right? So if anything, this is not to help along retail or to get in. They want clicks, and possibly there's an ulterior motive here because of who has the biggest positions, and that they are allowed to use this platform in order to, like they were saying in the documentary about amplifying everything, right? That they're allowed to come on and say what they want. Charlie Gasparino, the stock's going $20. AMC's not worth $20. Citron Research saying the same shit. We saw that all through the documentary, right?
Yes.
So hold on one second. Panda, can you cover for me for 1 second if I throw a question up? Hold on one sec. Someone's
let's do
asking
it.
me a question, but let me see. I won't walk away. Mass, can you ask yourself the question? Maybe I can do this while I'm in the bathroom. When the market is down, AMC is hammered more than GME. If you look at it, do you want to take that on for a second, Pantheon? Then I'll come back to my comment.
I'll take a shot at it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just running to the bathroom.
Sure. So you can ask yourself the question, when the market is down, AMC is hammered more than GME if you look at it. That's a fair assessment, I would say. I personally believe that AMC is going to be a more explosive play than GME. That's strictly my opinion. Don't hate me for it. I'm not saying GME won't squeeze. I'm not saying GME won't hit astronomical, amazing, awesome numbers. And no, I'm not saying 100,000 or a million or anything like that. They're both going to do extremely well. We're both going to have mother of all short squeezes. They're both going to move, and I think we're going to be both very, very happy. People who own GME and AMC. I just personally believe that AMC is the one for me that I think is going to do the bigger upside. And for me, when I bought into it, my analysis was, and that was back in late January, early February, is when I started building my position of 2021. So at that point, looking at the price of AMC and the price of GME and asking myself, if AMC got to a certain price and you multiply it by the difference of the current price of each when it was time to buy, that difference, that multiplier, that's how much more of the price I would thinking that AMC would hit, that GME would have to hit to equal the same return, right? If that makes any sense. And I look at that even today, and I ask myself the question today, do I think that it's going to be a 8x or whatever the number is at this point, multiplier higher than the price of AMC? And I don't think it is, but but what do I know, right? I mean, I'm not telling you guys, and let's just be clear, because there's people out there that like to bring this stuff up right now, and it's fine. We should all have a conversation, right? But at no point have I ever told anybody to do anything with their money. I don't tell you to buy. I don't tell you to sell. Never have, never will, right? My feeling is that buying and holding is the answer, but only through direct to lit exchanges. That is my feeling on the matter. People can make their own decisions and do whatever they want with their money. 100%. Pantheon just said he bought AMC because it's cheaper, not because it's the correct short squeeze systemic risk play. That is not what I said, Jerry Diamond. That is not what I said at all. So this is what happens on YouTube. You say something, people take it out of context. So Jerry Diamond, that is not what I said. They're both set up for squeezes. They're both going to do extremely well. I didn't say that it was the correct squeeze systemic risk play, DFV. AMC is not deep F value, LOL. That's your opinion, Jerry Diamond. I respect that, right? And that means you're invested in GME, and I think that's fantastic. I think GME is going to do very well for you. What I do is I analyze what I think the both are going to go to, and then I look at the current price position and say, where can I get more bang for my buck? Because I believe in both plays. And Jerry Diamond, I don't know why the GameStop crowd consistently hates on the AMC crowd, yet the AMC crowd is accepting of both. That's something that I just see far too often in this play, and I really think we could work together better.
Is that still going on right now behind the scenes? Are people still complaining about that?
Well, I still see it. Jerry Diamond's comment didn't complain about it, but he's trying to point out that I was just saying that AMC, I chose it because it's cheaper, not because it's the correct short squeeze systemic risk play. That is not what I said. So that's what happens here, right? All of it, it's other creators, it's people in the comments. They take what we say and they spin it however they want. So no hate towards you, Jerry Diamond.
Yeah, nothing against Jerry Diamond, of course. Please don't forget, says Sugar Daddy, that in 2008, a lot of other countries got slammed by the U.S. financial crisis. Now they see the U.S. markets in chaos again, and they're getting their money out fast ASAP, says Sugar Daddy. Yeah, man. And we gave out a lot of money. We gave out a ton of money to other countries to help other countries that were failing. We've given out trillions of dollars just in the last couple of years. D, by the way, thank you so much. Thanks for coming by. Let's see here. Clark says, you're right, Pantheon. You did not say that. What did you not say, Pantheon?
What the gentleman was trying to point out, that I was picking it because it's cheaper and not the right play.
Oh, okay. Right. Over GME. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Food Dog says, it's like the MOAS. It sucks for a while, then great things happen. Thomas B says, I just watched Wall Street Bets MSNBC movie. All I can say is I'll never sell my AMC. I was thinking the same thing, Thomas. I was like, dude, they're trying to talk me out of waiting for 4 digits. that seriously crossed my mind earlier. I have 600 shares and I've been here since January 27, 2021. You've been in AMC longer than I have, my friend. I didn't get in until 3 weeks after that, I think, or 2 weeks. February 14th or 13th. Let's see. Pantheon. Angelina says, Pantheon, I think we knew what you meant.
No, I don't think he knew what I meant. No. No offense, Angelina. I think his comment was pretty clear. Listen,
she's an ATF agent. She knows probably what's going on. The ATF knows what's up.
I tried my best to clarify it. It is what it is. You know what? Here's what I've realized, guys. When I started my channel, I honestly thought that I want to answer every comment and help every person. And I am one of the only people who answers every single comment in their comment section. And I've come to realize there's people, and this isn't directed to anybody here, but there's people that just can't be helped. So I've given up trying to help everybody.
Yeah. Right? I actually haven't answered comments in months now. It's been months.
And that's not directed to Angelina or to the what was the gentleman's name that I was responding to earlier?
Jerry Diamond.
Yeah, it's not responding to Jerry Diamond either. I've got respect for you guys. Just as a general comment.
Someone asked earlier, why would we tell people to go watch the MSNBC if we think it's not good? And I was saying with Tony, we're like, we know you guys are who are subscribed to our channels know how to decipher these type of things. Like, I'm not worried about sending my subscribers to that MSNBC show. I know it's not going to scare them out of their position. Like, I know the people who I've spoken with for the last year and a half on this channel aren't going anywhere until they see the numbers they want. So to me, it's like, I don't mind bringing this stuff up. I want you guys to know what's going on, what's being said. Keep your finger on the pulse of the movement at all times. That's my only intention with bringing your attention to the documentary.
Hey, of the 4 or 5, however many people they were interviewing with their positions, did any of them really give you a feeling that they had done like an AMC Bigham's level DD into
No.
the entire situation?
They hopped on bandwagon, sound like.
Yeah, there was one guy who, I think he was joking, but he said, this is my 3 weeks of stock experience. I think he was joking when he said that comment. But there was the guy with the knight helmet. I don't know who any of those people are.
He's the guy who put the video up.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah.
That's him. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of any of these people before, to be quite honest. And that's no shot at them. I just didn't know who they were. But none of them really gave me a feeling like they actually had a clue what was going on. They were all just FOMOs, is what it felt like.
Yep. Me too, Dana. Right on. What Dana says, what she says, for me, it's more confirmation that we were going to squeeze. That's the feeling I got from it. I'm like, they are either trying to dissuade us, confuse us, get us emotional, a number of things, right? I feel like that had so many intentions other than being pure entertainment. Right, Panth?
That's right. That's the feeling I got too. I didn't feel like it was a fair assessment of the situation.
No, not at all. And the fact that they didn't talk about anything going forward, they didn't do any research into the whole thing. They mentioned about the House Finance Committee calling in, Roaring Kitty and calling everybody in, but they didn't talk about everything that was shown to be true after these people perjured themselves in front of Congress. Citadel lied. They spoke to Robin. They didn't talk about any of that. They didn't discuss any of the problems going on in the market right now. All they did was show a bunch of people who looked like they were pretty green in the market, who YOLO'd some positions on GME back in the day, and some of them made out and some did not. And it was almost like a warning sign, like this could be coming ahead. Make sure you don't get bag hold like these people. Get out at $80 when we hit all new time highs. Make sure you get out because we could see a dip coming right after. It just that the whole thing with the red and the green, that was something that kept popping up. The imagery of the price fluctuating from 440 next day, it's green 440 and red 90 and green 360 and red 80. Like the whole way they set it up, it was like, man, you just want to maybe just sell and get out of this as soon as possible. Who wants to go through this living nightmare of trying to close this position and not, hold out and be too greedy? Like it was almost like take what you can get.
Yeah, my opinion on that is if anybody watched that and knew nothing about what we all know, there's no way in hell you would convince them to FOMO in or to buy into anything, right? Like FOMO in is the wrong term. You wouldn't be able to convince them to take a shot at
a position. No.
Yeah. No. Which I mean, that's fine. People make their own
That's
calls.
fine. Yeah, that's fine. I think we own twice the float anyways, so there should be no more shares out there.
But if those creators, I think they're creators or whoever those people were, the one lady seems to called herself a financial influencer, and she admitted in the video she didn't know anything about the financial markets.
Yeah, at the very end, she laughed about it. She laughed about it and goes, "I guess I'm a financial influencer now." It's like, first of all, I don't even know who the fuck you are. No offense.
And they didn't mention if those people spent any, like the guy made $8 million. That's great. Did he put any money back into buying when the stock went back down? That would have been a cool part of the story to hear that and see that he stepped up as a leader in the GME community.
I know.
Now, I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. We don't know. And that's the part that it kind of looks like they cut and run is how they
for sure.
How we shown.
They I feel like I know. I don't know. The timing just feels so weird to me. It's just Why does this pop up? It literally right slap in the middle of the month of May, right when they're around the time when we started to run up towards the June run up last year.
I'm
Right,
gonna
it was
add
about
that.
the second week in May.
I'll add this to the timeline. To be honest, that actually does make sense.
I just something
Yeah.
that crossed my mind when I was looking at it. I'm like, what? I'm like, they've been 10 documentaries on this, all done the last year. This is something that happened 18 months ago. Why are we still talking about this when the market's in the shithole right now? Everything's down. All of the extenuating circumstances surrounding the market are terrible. The future is bleak. Why are they putting out this video right now? It just crossed my mind. That's all.
Right. And I think many of us feel as though there's enough overlapping pieces of information at this time that makes you at least pause and go, and I'll put it like that.
Things
And I
that
think
make you
that's
go,
why, I think that's why we're seeing the things we're seeing. But, time will tell.
Yep. Gummy says R.I.P. to Bigum's dog. Bigum's, man, mad love to you. I hope you're holding up, man. It's very sad. That's a terrible thing. And my heart goes out to you and my condolences to you and your family.
I
I
heard
hope
his
you
dog
guys are hanging in.
got away. I didn't know his dog had passed away. That's terrible.
Yeah, it says passed away. Yeah, I thought it ran away at first, but it says passed. So that's unfortunate. Sorry about that, Biggs. Thomas B. How you doing tonight, Thomas? It says it's psychological warfare. That is why. Agreed, Thomas. I have a feeling that it is. Susan said my palm just itched. Coincidence? I think not. What's that mean? Is that an inside is that an inside Pantheon radio joke? I don't know.
No. We were just talking about, could be a coincidence. Who knows? And that's
Oh.
funny. It's just funny.
Oh. I gotcha. Kiwi Girl says timing is everything. Yes, Kiwi Girl. Gummy says I feel for him. Clark says Clark doesn't say. Clark asks. I should never say Clark says. I should say Clark asks going forward. Do you think the price of AME?
It looks like something happened with Mass. Looks like my plan worked. The show is now all mine. Let's see. Clark, I'll stall until Mass gets back. Do you think the price of AMC is going to go back down again? If so, how much? Because Julie wants to buy more shares. I have no idea. I don't talk share prices. I don't talk time frames. I will talk information and how the information lies out on a timeline. But if the markets continue to go down, I've heard this a million times, and it's true. AMC and GME will track with the overall markets until it's time for them not to. So, that's it's a possibility. I can't say for sure. Steven Siebert has a bunch of unhappy faces. Steven, have we missed you somewhere, Steven? If there's a question you've asked that you haven't had addressed, please throw it back up, and we'll take a look at that. Oh, he's back. Okay, best behavior. You're on mute. You're on mute, Mass. Yeah. I can't hear you. Yeah, replacing Mass with a synthetic Mass. That's my favorite comment of the night. You just got the Pantheon prize, Yuka Frida. Mass, I still can't hear you. But Prometheus, Pantheon's plan to take over the world is now complete. One YouTube stream at a time. Yeah. Synthetic Massalorian. That's awesome. I'm going to remember that line. I'm going to steal that line. Still can't hear you, Mr. Mass. Angelina, Pantheon, I was supporting. The comment was just read wrong. Yeah. Okay. My apologies, Angelina. I mean, I wasn't coming at you. No audio from you, Mr. Mass. I think these guys can still hear me though. Yeah, I wasn't trying to come at you, Angelina. No worries. Let's see. No sound from Mass, because you guys can still hear me, right? Let me know if you can still hear the Pantheon. That'll help us figure out what's going down. Okay. Yeah. So Mass, they can still hear me. They just can't hear you. Okay. Let's see. What if Panth was Batman, Bruce Wayne? Well, let me ask you this question, Gummy. Have you ever seen Pantheon, myself, and Bruce Wayne in the same room at the same time? Let's give that some thoughts.
We good?
Yeah, that's very good.
Nice. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Sorry, guys.
These guys are
and they cut my mic.
These guys are figuring out that I may indeed be Bruce Wayne, so they're onto something.
Pantheon's Jason Momoa, it says.
Oh, Dana's going to be so disappointed.
Dana is why.
But
you don't look like Jason Momoa?
I'm no Jason Momoa.
I didn't say that.
No, that's an old running joke we've had for a long time. She was saying, I don't know what Pantheon looks like. And I say, close your eyes and imagine Jason Momoa. And it's just survived until now.
Yeah, picture Jason Momoa like in the last 20 minutes of Justice League when he's absolutely ripped. That's what Pantheon looks like behind closed doors.
Not even close. Let's get back.
Listen, by the time we get to actually unveiling you, you could be ripped. You could be a brick shithouse. Who knows?
All right.
Maybe you get into lifting. Who knows? We don't know.
I'll have to go to the gym tomorrow.
Me too, buddy. They have played this game since the beginning of time, says Thomas B. They're scared. They scared us for centuries with 12-letter words, and only that the elite could help us with retirement. We finally stood up. They're scared now. I hope so, Thomas. I mean, I hope we played this right. I think we did. The research that needed to be done when we first took our positions. Nothing has changed during that time, except the fundamentals for AMC have got better. They've increased their short position, and I think dug themselves a deeper hole. That's the only thing that's changed for me. And it's taken a lot longer than I expected. I thought this would have been over by the summer. I thought this would have been over a year ago, and I was way off. Wrong. Javi, good evening, buddy. John, Steven Seibert wants to know I love how Javi has to ask for other people. Steven Seibert wants to know why there are still millions of shares being bought that don't exist. Okay, so Steven, you have to understand the market. If there's someone willing to buy, there is always somebody willing to sell. Always. No matter who it is, whether it's retail, institutional, if there is supply and demand going on, there are shares. People will make shares available to make money. I don't know where this concept from that they just can't. I don't know where this is coming from. Do you know why people keep asking about that, Pantheon?
Well, for Steven had a bunch of unhappy faces in the chat while you were away, and I'd asked for him to repost his question because I think we might have missed it, which clearly we had. So
sorry about that, man. It happened, Steven. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the CNS program, right? The continuous net settlement program.
Correct.
That Randall and Bigham's and everybody talks about to great details. And so, to keep the markets moving, if nobody, basically how should it work, right? If there's not one single person looking to sell a share of AMC, there should be zero movement on the volume. There's 516 million shares. If not a single share is available to be sold, nobody should be able to buy a share. But the CNS program allows them to create the synthetic shares to keep moving the markets. But the point of it is supposed to be they wrap that up by finding a share that's being sold to have the position equal out at zero. And we know that they're taking advantage of it, and they're not following through with actually wrapping up those shares. So that is how they're continuously doing this, right?
Yes.
And for Steven, if you haven't seen that in great detail, I highly recommend you go check out any one of AMC Bigham's videos. In fact, check out his last one. He did a 3+ hour stream, but there's absolute just gold in there, right? And he goes through and explains that stuff really, really well. Or check out anything from Randall. Next time Randall Cornett is on a live stream, check him out.
Doesn't Randall cover that a lot? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Randall's right into that stuff too, and he's super smart. Those are
definitely
2 great places, Steven, to check out.
For sure. Jay Beebs, good night, buddy. Have a good night. I saw Mike's in the chat. Mike, what's up, brother? Mass and Pantheon, thanks for everything you guys do for us. I'm holding for at least 5K, baby. Jason, I'm with you, bro.
Hi, Jason.
I am with you. How you doing, man? I've never even seen you in chat before. How you doing tonight? Welcome, Jason. Good night, Mass and Pantheon. J Beeb's taking off. Carl J. Haven't sold a damn thing. Me neither, Carl J. Me neither. Prometheus says, Massalorian, I've been holding since November 2020. Damn, bro. You got 4 months on me. I wonder how much money I have cost you to tell. LOL. I don't know. I hope it's a lot, though, Prometheus. I hope it's a lot. They deserve it.
AB Investments bought his first AMC shares like October
in the fall,
like
right?
that.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
When I interviewed him to come on for the live stream, he was I was like, give me your backstory. And he was telling me, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Steven Seibert says they won't answer my question because it can't be answered. Steven, why do you ask it then? If there's no answer to your question, why would you continually ask it over and over again, silly boy?
He may have written that when we were answering it. I believe we just answered your question, Steven.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that wasn't the right answer he was looking for. I don't know.
It's a CNS program.
CNS thing. Okay.
That is how they continue to make the shares when there's no shares available to be bought. That is how they do it, and it's legal, believe it or not. But it is being
it's legal,
pushed.
Right?
It is, but it's legal to do it, but not in the way they're doing it, right?
Yeah. So what is it that they're? How would they find this list? What is there? Is it technically considered a loophole? Like, what is it?
Right, to keep the markets moving on level 3 through the CNS program, they're allowed to create synthetic shares. If somebody shows up and wants to buy 10,000 shares of AMC, they will give them 10,000 shares of AMC through the market makers, and they will find 10,000. The theory, they will find 10,000 shares in the CNS program that somebody's selling, or a combination of to equal 10,000, and that will offset the transaction and equal back at zero. But that's why my contention is that they being all the parties involved in this effery, they don't fear us because of the money we're going to make. I don't believe that for a second. I believe they fear us because of the amount of information and corruption that we are exposing with the CNS program and the ISDA banks and everything else that the DD guys are pulling up, and we're discovering all the time of how this whole system actually works. That's what I believe they're mostly scared of, is the story and what we're unveiling more so than the money.
I just wonder. Yeah,
they don't want to pay us the money either, mind you.
Yeah. I'm just thinking those guys must be expecting though that a lot of that money is going to flood back into the market again, right?
Look, what are the stats? Like 3/4 of all lottery winners end up broke 3 years or 2 years later, something like that, right?
It's right, something stupid, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's just be honest. I mean, a lot of the people that are going to make money on this, and we touch the smallest fraction of the people that are invested. If there's 4 million plus retail individual investors in AMC, YouTube's not touching them, right? Like
YouTube is not. No.
Right. So we're getting to spread information and share knowledge with people that are a fraction of that. So, when the truth is, when this squeeze happens and people sell, there's going to be people who don't have that money 2-3 years later. It's just the reality of how things work, and the fact that we don't get taught finances in school.
I know, that's a big problem. Imagine if we got taught finances back in high school.
But the people who are here, who are listening, who are doing their own due diligence, their own work, thinking ahead for themselves, their families, looking through what their needs, their wants, and the fun coupon money is. The people who have gone through all that information are going to be set up for success.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was saying that last night in my video. I said, I think this generation right now that is investing are going to be some of the smartest investors going forward because of all the trials and tribulations they've been through, especially newer people who are newer or younger Gen Zers or millennials who are just getting into the market for the first time. Man, they got some really great free learning about economics and geopolitics and how to play options and how to read charts. I mean, think about all the information that has been provided for nominal fees, right? I mean, how much have you spent on super chatting one of your favorite creators or watching a 10-second commercial for a Google ad? And think of the wealth of knowledge that everyone's been able to gather. I mean, we are learning so much as a community, growing together. It's amazing. Javi says, "Oh, Steven says we still didn't answer his question. So let me see. Maybe I might be reading
I
this
think
wrong.
he wrote watched it. So you mean watched it as in he watched AMC
Oh,
Bigum's
the
video?
maybe.
Maybe I'm wrong. I think that's what he's suggesting is he's watched AMC's Bigum's video and still doesn't get how they're doing it.
Oh, maybe that's what he
And
means.
and if that isn't explaining it, Stephen, I don't know. I don't know what else I can say.
Yeah, I mean, if Bigums is the man to talk to, that's the man to talk to. By the way, Grandpa Bunny, thank you for the 499 super chat. Thank you, bro. That keeps the lights on here. Thank you so much. Let's see, Steven, I think you're looking for Lou's chat. Says Julie. Oh boy, Lou's is busy right now pumping breast milk. He's on 24/7 until we get the supply chain issues worked out. He's hooked up. Randall says, I thought Pantheon explained it pretty correctly. He says, Randall. Thomas says, Mash, you need to get a book entitled The Millionaire Next Door. The average millionaire drives a 10-year-old car. That doesn't shock me. That sounds like me. That sounds like a Massalorian millionaire. A 10-year-old car. I would like to go a little nicer than 250, maybe 3. And I haven't been on vacation since 2019. 2019 is the last time I went away. So, let's see. Zephyr says, is this stream going to be uploaded to your channel? Yeah, Zephyr, as soon as me and Pantheon jump off, which will be, oh, wow, it's already on 5 minutes, 3:15. Yeah, so I'm going to be jumping off in 5 minutes at 3:15. At 3 hours and 15 minutes. But yes, I will upload it as soon as we're done. Me and Pantheon get off, and I don't chop it up. I just put the whole thing uploaded. That way you can pick and choose where you want to listen to. I just think chopping it up and putting out 10 videos a day is a waste of everyone's time. Elevated Finance says, if not, what elected officials' ear do we need to get to enact the proper change set for every member of Congress? Elevated Finance, or at least enough of the 500 and whatever it is, 85 or 535 people who are in the House of Representatives and the Senate who can pass legislation. That's whose ear we need to get. And we got elections coming up in 6 months. T-minus. So if you want to start getting in ears, get in ears, and let's get people in place who can get legislation onto the House floor. Because this administration is slowly deteriorating.
And the government officials are also responding to money. So the sooner that we can deal with ISDA banks, the more we're going to see change in the overall markets. If the ISDA money, this is a big task, but if the ISDA banks have the funds start to dry up, that's going to make a big change as well.
Yes, for sure.
It's a big task, but it's important.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Good evening. Let me see. I just saw someone just asked a question. Someone saying I could find homes out in Western Mass. Oh, I want to get out of New England, Pocus. I want to get out of here. Let's see. I wish I could actually have a conversation with you guys. Oh, Steven's saying, I wish I could. Okay, hold on. I wish I could actually have a conversation with you guys because this question stuff is like 5 to 10 minutes behind. Okay. All right, man. You know what, Steven, if you don't have, you can send me a DM on Twitter. Maybe Panda doesn't have Twitter, but you can send me a DM on Twitter if you would like, or an email. I don't have an issue with that.
Isn't Steven from Tony's channel?
Tony's channel, yeah.
So Steven, if you check out Tony during the day, that's another place to ask the question. I guarantee he will be able to answer it very clearly if I've failed in that.
And Tony will be on all day tomorrow. He already said tonight that he's going to be doing the in the morning and the market close tomorrow. So you already know that you're good for that. That dude said, what's up with the T+35 for tomorrow? They're going to have to buy 20+ million shares, which aren't a ton, that dude. But is that true tomorrow?
My head has been buried in this case.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But I heard that the T+35 was either today or tomorrow. I had heard that, so I can't guarantee it, but it aligns with what else I've heard. And have they kicked the can down the road before? Yes, they have. But is the price low enough for them to, to deal with that problem? I would suggest that it probably is. So, I mean, stay tuned for tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, guys. Yep. Hang on to your skirts. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Hold on. Thomas, this is probably the last question I'm going to take. Thomas B says, Mass, honest question. If it's got to be a Lou question. If Lou is for the squeeze, where did it go wrong with him and you? Not being mean, just curious. I know he gets under your skin. So there were two different things that really pissed me off with Lou, Thomas. There was the time he walked into the AMC theater with his cell phone, live broadcasting, and saying that AMC had a dead business model. That was in the middle of last summer. That was the first thing. The second thing was at the end of November, right before Thanksgiving, when he said that the brokers had not purchased your shares and that you continuing to buy was providing liquidity for the brokers and they're just parking your shares. Came up with this whole thing that we have to stop buying. And that was the last time we sniffed $40. Those are my two issues with him. Thomas. Let's see. Big love. Oh, Feek's in the house. Feek, what's up, bro? What's up? Nice, Alberta, Canada. Oh, your neighbors are Pantheon. These guys are neighbors.
Beautiful province.
Beautiful country up there. It's God's country. That's God's country. Let's see. Tully says, Lou told apes to stop buying, then mocked everyone. He can kick rocks. Him and the SJWs can kick rocks. Steven says we need more conversation, jokes. Steven, I've been doing this since last April, bro. I've had a lot of AMC conversations. To be honest with you, I'm fucking sick of them. They're driving me bonkers, but I own a ton of shares. So I am continuing to keep out here and talking about it. Because financially it represents a huge position of my portfolio. But we need to keep it light though with the jokes, bro. If not, everyone's gonna go homicidal. I don't want to start killing people.
That's the other part of this, Stephen, is that not everybody's here to ask questions to get some kind of brand new information resolved or something. Some people just want to have a place to hang out, be with others that are on the same wavelength as them, and have a little fun.
That's it, buddy. That's it. Take it for what it is. Yep. We are not making a mint over here, coming on doing 5-hour live streams on a Monday night. I promise you. Promise you. There's a reason why I still hold my AMC right now. All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to, I'm going to wrap this up because I am tired and I got to be up tomorrow in 6 hours. So 12:30. We went just over 3 hours and 15 minutes, guys. Not bad. Good little live stream for a Monday night. I hope you guys got to watch the docu. If not, go check it out. Tell me what you guys think about it. Put it in the comments of this video after you watch the Diamond Hands video. Tell me what your thoughts are. Am I looking at this totally wrong? Am I looking too deep into it? Is it a bunch of fluff? What am I missing something? We rely on you guys too to bring things to our attention. So again, when someone's saying, why would we direct them? Maybe there's something you guys are going to catch in the movie that I didn't. Maybe there's something you're going to see that you can be like, hey, Mass, at 14, 46, doesn't this seems like this isn't right? Now, what they're saying here doesn't match up with what Citron said, just things like that. So we're putting everything out there for you guys and you make your own decisions on it. I'm just trying to help as much as I can with providing facts. And I know Pantheon's doing the same thing. That's it. It's the most we can do. Please post a link if it's on YouTube, says Nick's World. I'm going to post it one more time. This is it right here. I'm putting it up right now. This is the link for the video on YouTube. So I'm going to put it in, it's in the chat. It's up on the screen. Pantheon, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just it's a beautiful crowd you've got here. And thank you for letting me jump on to have some fun tonight.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming by and volunteering your time to come on and answer questions. And I didn't know if you were going to make it, but you still showed up. And I can't thank you enough, my friend. I really can't. I can't. You're invaluable. Is that the right word? Invaluable? That means I
I'll
can't
take-
live without you.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. You're not so
I was gonna
bad
say,
yourself.
I think that means that I enjoy. I like you. I need you.
No,
All
I'm.
right.
I like coming on with you. Thank you, Mass. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man, you're the man.
Good
You're the man. Definitely. Chris, good night. I'm gonna say good night to everyone. Next World, Steven, Pam, and Liz, my 2 moderators. Thank you so much. Oh, and Diaz was in here tonight, and so was Javi. So all of you guys, thank you so much. Shout out to Bigums and his family losing his dog. It's horrible, and I feel really bad for him. But my prayers are with them and all the families of the people who were murdered this weekend by that piece of shit. You know, I would like to go up there personally right now and hang the son of a bitch, but I can't do that. So, but yeah, there's no need for that. And the timing couldn't be better, I tell you. Timing couldn't be better. All right, guys, I'm going to let it go at that before I lose it. So we will be with you guys. Let's see. I'll be back on Wednesday night for sure. And Pantheon, any update you want to give anyone before we sign off? Maybe next time to look for a video or a live stream coming up, anything, or is everything on the wraps?
No clue when the next time I'm going to be able to do anything on my channel, but will probably every time you go live, or Tony, I'm in there keeping an eye on things, right? So
sounds good, buddy. Yeah, we got we have 3 Musketeers here, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Porto and I don't even remember all the names. All right, I'm out of here. I'm falling asleep, guys. We'll see you in the next couple of days. Thank you so much. We're still holding with you guys. I'm not going anywhere, and I appreciate everyone who donated tonight to help with the lights and the software and everything else we need to run this place. Thank you so much. Thank you for just coming by and talking with us, sharing your insight on what's going on, your opinions and your thoughts. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night.